And welcome back to Football Park. It's a beautiful night here, fine and warm, light winds, and the current temperature a very, very pleasant 25 degrees. It is a magnificent night for football. Joining me now, of course, the big clash, Kim Dillon. Kim, welcome to the show, and the Port Adelaide line-up. And it's strange to sort of realise that Port Adelaide are going for their third loss in a row.
Yes, it's certainly not a regular happening, and it's interesting to see a few players out tonight. The most noticeable one being Darren Smith, and he's been replaced by Scott Hodges at centre-half forward, which means that Mark Tyler's playing at full forward, and he's quite capable.
And Kim, that last line of defence of Port Adelaide, it's completely new. Look at that.
It is. It's very different to what we're accustomed to seeing, but it's a great opportunity for Paul Stringer to be standing John Fidge, who is a class player, and he's proved himself at the highest level, and that's in Victoria.
The Port Adelaide centre line will need to fire tonight if, in fact, Port are going to win this game.
Oh, no question of that, and it is a good centre line. So too is this one with Marshall, Dean and Simons. Very impressed with Brett Dean, and I think this is the year where he'll stamp his name on South Australian football. He has a lot of ability, and I really do think that he should start to feel comfortable in league surroundings, and I look forward to watching him play tonight.
And Kimbo Clayton Lamb into the Bayside for the first time.
The $52,000 man.
Excuse me,
and,
he wears more than you.
Oh, yeah. But it is interesting, and certainly a lot of people will be having a close look at him. It's a lot of money to pay for a footballer, it really is.
Well, Graham Campbell, how do you see tonight's big game?
Well, Ken, as I said last week, it's fraught with danger trying to pick a winner in this night series football competition. The, what is it? Not the Escort Cup, the Foundation Cup. It really is difficult to pick winners, Ken. Look, the last game we saw West Torrens win a game of footy. Nobody thought they could get up after North Adelaide treated Port Adelaide with contempt up at Port Pirie last week. But I'll go for the outsider. I'll go for Port Adelaide by 1-10.
Yes, well, it's certainly wouldn't be an upset if it happened, Graham. Two players I'm really keen to have a look at again tonight. One of them is Wanganeen.
Gavin Wanganeen, well, he showed his wares on a wing last time here at Football Park against Geelong, last time I saw the lad play, and he's playing as a rover tonight. So it's another role for the lad to play. He's certainly small enough, if that's the word to use, to be a little fellow around the goal square, and I think he can handle the job.
And the other player who we're all aware of his ability, and that, of course, is Tregenza, who I think is an absolute star.
Simon Tregenza could be anything. I think he's probably pound for pound the best wingman in the competition. That's a big statement, I know, but he's so quick, he's so assertive when he gets the ball, he's got it all, and I like watching the boy play. He's good to watch.
Graham, the big advantage for the Bays, as I see it tonight, of course, is their two big men in Milliken and Christie, and there's no Russell Johnson in the Port Adelaide side.
That is big plus for the Bays, Ken. Certainly with Milliken, he's starting off on the ball tonight, I think, as number one ruckman, and Christie on the bench. So it'll be a matter of swapping the players on and off the field. I don't like that personally. I think they need to both be on the ground, both having a chance to exert their influence on the game and in a forward pocket.
And it's a big opportunity, Graham, for young Shane Grimm, the former, well, in fact, he came from Torrens area at Whyalla. I dare say he'll get plenty of responsibility in the ruck tonight.
I suppose so. I don't know much about the boy at all, David, to be honest. But, you know, he did play in the first round we saw, the game against Geelong, and came on and did a few things. But nonetheless, this will be a big test for him tonight. This will be a great game because both sides have got pride and both sides certainly would want to win. Port particularly, if you work it out, fellas, if they lose this game, Port can't make the grand final of the night competition. And they won it last year. That'll be a tragedy for the black and white supporters. That's another reason why I'm picking Port. They simply can't afford to lose.
Hey, Mr. 1-10 going for the Magpies. He's a freak, isn't he? Fair
he is. He keeps forgetting my name. We've been doing it for about 5 years. I'm staggered.
What about Hodges at centre-half forward? He's a boy that burst onto the scene, showed some great potential and did some wonderful things, but just of late, Kim, his form hasn't been what Port would like and nor what he would like.
Well, it happened about halfway through last season, and he is pretty hot and cold. He likes the ball to be put out in front of him, and he's got a good set of hands, and he kicks very accurately, but of course you can't do those things, and well, you certainly can't kick unless you take the marks. So I'll be interested to see how he performs. I think he'll enjoy the freedom, but I personally think he has to lift his work rate a lot more than what we've seen in the past. And if he misses a few, so what? He's just got to get in there and get after the next one.
The person that impressed me for the Bays, Kim, talking about the forwards, was Fidge. I thought his game against West Adelaide was outstanding. He was strong. He was direct at the ball, and if he stays fit, I think he's going to have a great year this year.
Well, that's the big key to John Fidge. You couldn't question his strength or his ability. It's just whether he can stand up to a season or a preparation. He's got a history of hamstring injuries. He often looks proppy early in the game. But as you said, if he can remain sound, he'll be a huge asset for Glenelg. And another guy that really impressed me last week was Adrian Batterson.
Well, of course, can we look at his experience, firstly with the Melbourne Footy Club, then the Sydney Swans, his ability to read the play was fantastic. What about their centre? Young Brett Dean has shown a great deal of promise, but he really hasn't cemented his place in the side, and I see tonight they've got him in the middle again.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I think he showed his ability last week, and it's a fine line when you're a young player, believing in yourself, and I think now that he's got the opportunity and given the responsibility of centre, I think players that have ability can react, and I think he'll react in the correct fashion. He's taken a while to find his feet. Mind you, he's been surrounded by a lot of good players.
Well, he is.
It's not easy to stamp your mark at the Bay. He gets a chance now, and I think he'll make the most of it.
What about John Seedman not playing centre-half back tonight? Are you surprised at that? He's in the back pocket.
Oh, not really. I think Seeds can handle any one of those positions, and he'll perform more than adequately.
OK, well, let's look at the prize money, Kim, of course, for the Foundation Cup. First prize, 30,000 smackaroos. Second prize is not a bad bundle of cash here to 20,000, and so it goes down. And the teams between 5th and 10th, $8,500. So certainly not to be sneezed at, Kim.
Well, I would suggest that Glenelg will be looking for that 30,000 to pay to erase some of the of what it cost them to buy Clayton Lamb. Interesting point though. These two sides clashed in the first game of the Foundation Cup last year down at Robe, and in fact Glenelg defeated Port Adelaide, yet they went on to win the cup. But no such luxury tonight. They have to win.
Well, it should be a great game, Kim. Let's take you to your commentator, Ian Day.
Thanks, Ken. Yes, as we've said before, a beautiful evening down here at Footy Park for the second round of the Foundation Cup. Glenelg and Port Adelaide. Port looking just a little thin in the ranks, especially their full back line has been mentioned, Foster, Stringer and Rosonico. But it's unusual for Port Adelaide to be lining up for their third loss in a row. The Bays look pretty strong, and in charge of the game this evening are two senior umpires, Kevin Chambers and Michael Abbott. A big crowd, and we're looking forward to a pretty tough clash. I think there's going to be a bit of feeling in the game. There always is when Port and Glenelg front, and tonight should be no exception. Can't believe the night. There's little or no breeze at all. Graham Campbell assumes or swears that the breeze is favouring the lake end, which appears to be mild pond calm, but only time will tell. I don't think you'll find that there's any breeze that will affect the game, but funnily enough, it's usually the lake end that's the scoring end at Footy Park when there is no breeze. Hines in ruck for Port Adelaide, and Christie's going to start in ruck for the Bays. Umpire Chambers holds the ball aloft. The big game's underway. Port against Glenelg at the bounce. Hines in opposition now to Christie. Up they fly. Line ball that way, taken away now quickly by Lamb. Having his first kick for the Bays, a $52,000 man. Going through, Mansell gives it back now. Hooked around the corner by Bartlett in towards the pocket and looking for it and winning the ball where is Carrera.
Carrera's kick was low and intercepted now by Batterson. Opportunity for that player. Little kick around the corner. Carrera nearly intercepted that. Fidge with an opportunity. Puts it up high. Bartlett one grab. Couldn't take it. Allahan close to the pocket. Boundary, I should say. Appeals for the free kick, but none forthcoming. Perfect conditions here at Football Park. Bartlett. Hines from behind. Rosonico out to Carrera. Should have a good year. Ginniver managed to get ball to boot before it dribbled over the boundary line. Ken, this man Ginniver, whilst his ability used to be questioned early in his career, he certainly has been a consistent performer for Port Adelaide, and he gives 100% every time he dons the jumper.
Oh, Kimbo, his work rate is unquestionable. He's not the quickest man on two legs, but his work rate is absolutely fantastic. Body over the football, as we see Hines now with the free kick.
Ken, just getting back, I've always had a thought about Tim. I think he's quicker than he thinks he is, and I'd always like to see him take a couple more steps before he gets rid of the ball, because I think he'd use it to more purpose if he did.
Comment Ian Day. The kick on that occasion taken by Bromelo, kicks towards half forward, looking for Hallahan. Coming out there was Foster, goes back to northeast, over the top. Coming to Abernethy. Port Adelaide working the ball out of defence, or Foster with a sloppy handball. Players going in hard was David Marshall, but the umpire will call for a bounce. It's a magnificent night for this big game. It really is. The umpires, Michael Abbott and Kevin Chambers. Kevin Chambers on your screen at the moment. Michael Abbott, the more experienced of the two. It should be a rip snorter of a game, this one. They always are, Port Adelaide Glenelg games. There's Marshall around his body. Back towards centre half forward. Bartlett comes out, pumps the ball away, but in doing so gave away a free kick. Good umpiring. The hand was in the back. And the Carrera, who started pretty well, takes the free kick.
It's his third kick from the half-back flank. Go in short, and we'll find Ginniver. Through the half-back line. Port Adelaide go over the centre line up towards Hutton. He was grabbed there. The umpire didn't see it that way. Clayton Lamb in the action early. Gets onto his left foot, kicks long, up towards Fidget, full forward, Stringer there with him. Rosonico back, aerial ping pong. Here's a chance for McTavish. Ginniver once more. Cool under pressure, puts it across and finds the big fellow in Phillips. He thumps out a 30-metre handball. Abernethy quickly through the half-back line. Paul northeast, drives up towards Salisbury, can't quite. Here's the big fellow, Melican unloads it, but it's straight to Brown. Brown high in towards the forward pocket, FAD. I think that is against Elias, and the free kick upfield is going the way of Tyler, and Mark Tyler is going to have kick. We'll just have a look at it in replay, just see the upending. Well, yes, it seemed to be a tackle. It was perhaps a little late. The umpire saw it that way. Tyler from 25 metres. The angle is evident. The kick is well offline. A point only, the first score of the game.
I saw Mark Tyler kick 10 goals from full forward in a reserves game one match, and he's certainly more than capable of holding down that position at full forward. Found it hard to his irregular berth in the A's, but he's a more than useful player. That mark taken by Elias, one of the Bay's new players this season. He played reserves football for the Sydney Swans. Front position there was Lamb, punched away from him. In there is Rouveret. The handball went back to Hallahan. His kick is high, and Tony Simons takes the mark. Coming in a little late there was northeast. Tony Simons. Said last week you'd have to class him in the veteran stage now. 29 years of age. Rouveret front position, couldn't take it. Ginniver in there working hard at the bottom of the pack. It's tapped out now towards Tregenza. Tregenza kicks it long. Back there, Seabone. Rowan Smith due to have a big night out. He's been quiet the 2 games I've seen this year. Good play by the Bays as Seabone puts it out searching for Bromelo. He couldn't take it. Hallahan can. The kick around his body finds Dean. Dean played well last week, and he's found Marshall this week.
Marshall loose in the pocket. He finds the open spaces. Marshall up towards full forward with a long kick. Bartlett from behind in front. Port Adelaide player taken away on this occasion by Rosonico. Some centre half back up towards the centre. Brown has the zip, but in front of Glenelg mark. Thompson is the player who takes the mark. Their half back flanker. The Bay's back into attack towards half forward. All over the top went Rosonico. Gathered the crumbs. And a charge now for McTavish. McTavish in towards goal. It's home. It's the first major.
McTavish, typical Rovers goal, but gee, what a leap there by Rosonico, who had 2 grabs of the ball. The first one over the top, then when he came to ground, it came back to him. He really didn't know that he had it, and McTavish quickly swooped on the ball and booted a fine Rovers goal. The Bays lead by 5 points.
The Tigers leading by 5 points. Hutton snares the football, pushes out wide, searching for Borlase, and he's found the football. He's very accurate around goals, and he's hit the post.
Well, Daisy Borlase knows how to cram the football. A bit fortunate on that occasion, but took it off hand and had a golden opportunity to post the immediate reply for the Port Adelaide side, but not equal to the task.
Fine kick in. Melican leaps, so he didn't get his leap away on the end. Getting back on it now is Hutton. Hutton on the left leg, wobbles one towards goal. It would work again. 2 out of 2 inside a minute. Luck not running the Magpies' way this evening at this point.
Well, if you can tell me the odds of that happening, you're a clever person. Port Adelaide extremely unlucky. Duthie pushes it out, looking for Elias up high, couldn't take the football. Marshall can, gives his teammate and in fact his wingman for the same side over towards Dean. Dean in fact pushes it out, and there's Mansell. Good mark. Mansell short pass, and he's found Rouveret. It was a good mark, loose checking by Port Adelaide, and Rouveret should post the second goal for the Tigers to give them a 9-point advantage. First kick for the match, and also his first goal.
Well, that was a good mark there by Mansell. Likes to take the strong grab, and this is poor checking by Port Adelaide defence. Northeast was the player at fault, and Rouvray takes the mark. And he's a very talented young player, young Rouvray, and I know the Bay Club and their officials have a very high regard for this young man, and I'm sure he's going to make his mark in league footy.
The crowd building bigger than last week, probably 13,000 people at Footy Park. Up goes Borlase. McTavish hands it out to Houlihan. Houlihan up towards the half-forward line. Bartlett can't quite. Here's a chance, Fitch. Can't get the handball away. Uses him as a doormat. Went straight over the top, and the umpire comes in and bounces the footy on the half-forward right flank. Tough football out there. Hines in a little late on the scene. A clever tap down to Hallen. Got it on his boot, or did he? Yes, he did. Farmed across to Stephen Williams under pressure. Brown. Hutton. Kicks wildly towards the half-forward line. Thumped away there. Ryan Smith with a chance. Unloads it. Port Adelaide through. Borlase into attack. Salisbury coming across. Can't get it. Under pressure there was Port Adelaide, the young fellow in Geneva, but taking away is McTavish and drives it up where the mark will be taken on the half-forward line by the Bays. Bartlett.
Alan Bartlett pushes out a pass looking for Simons. The ball sat up nicely for him, but eventually going over the line. Grandstand side here at Football Park. We've had nearly 9 minutes of the first quarter. Port Adelaide 3 points, Glenelg 2 goals. Hines won the tap straight down to Hallahan. Good tackle though by Rowan Smith. Hallahan back in there working hard. It will be umpire Kevin Chambers to bounce.
Umpire Kevin Chambers put the football down. Hines, Bartlett, Clayton Lamb. What was the ball towards centre half forward, pumped away by the big man Phillips. Done beautifully by McTavish, or gave the handball to Marshall, who had soft hands on that occasion, which is most unusual. Up towards full forward, Fitch has been paid the mark. Yeah, that was strong work, but that was questionable whether he held the ball long enough. He did it well, Fitch, to get there.
Yeah, when you have a look at it, Ken, he might have even paid a free kick because the lad was all over his back, but you know, this fellow's going to be a fine player for the Bays. We didn't see the best of him last week, obviously, or last year, obviously, because he was had problems all the time. But he's certainly got a lot of talent. He's only 25 metres out. This should be a soda for a full forward. He makes no mistake.
There's no question that John Fidge is a talented player, and he certainly will be an asset for the Tigers this year. He gives them a focal point. That's something they've struggled to find in recent years. Warren Ralph was a player they were hoped would fill those requirements, but unfortunately he didn't come up to scratch and eventually went back to Perth. Prior to that, they looked at John Seabohm as being the answer, but I think John Fidge will fill the bill.
Back at the centre, bounce, a great start by the Bays. 3 goals to 3 points. Clayton Lamb, number 6, going in hard for the Tigers, playing his first game for his new club, the former West Adelaide captain. Brown, heavy bodywork in the centre. Tavish is in there. He likes a bit of a dust-up. He's not backward and coming forward. And Tony, no harm done. Brown, and David Brown, the Port Adelaide player. The bounce, Melican. It's heavy bodywork. Thompson got a high one according to umpire Chambers. So only luck going with the Bays at the moment. A couple of lucky free kicks, and the Magpies have hit the post on a couple of occasions. We haven't seen one 50-metre penalty kick tonight, and my hasn't the game quickened up as we see Rosonico. The handball out to Hines. Hines from centre half back out wide, looking for this talented youngster from Tregenza from the Sacred Heart College boy. Look at him go. He's in trouble, but he's good enough to get out of it. He's going to have a wobbly old kick, put himself under an enormous amount of pressure, and the ball goes out of play, and a free kick will be taken by Glenelg, and it's Bromelo.
Bromelo from the half-back line to send the Bays towards the half-forward line. Big leap by Bartlett there, not successful. McTavish, who's in the action, gets it back to Dean. Dean to the half-forward line. Rouvray with him there is Northeast. Goes for the thump back towards the half-forward line. Marshall's well tackled. Play on as a call. McTavish quickly over there now to Batterson, who's on the turf. Here's a chance. Fidge around the corner, hooks for goal. The umpire getting underneath it. He's got it!
Well, tremendous play by John Fidge. Once he snared that football, he arced around onto the right boot. He assessed the situation well. Let's have a look first how he took control. The ball came in long. Fidge couldn't take the mark, recovered quickly, managed to get around Hutton. He knew where the goals were, and that's a great full forward snap for goal.
Gee whiz, you're right there, Kim. I tell you what, he is going to be an asset, and it's a big job for young Stringer back there tonight. A real big job. Already that put out a defence under an enormous amount of pressure.
Not the ideal start for a rookie fullback, is it?
No, it's not, Kimber, that's for sure. Glenelg 4 straight goals, Port Adelaide 3 points. The Maggies under an enormous amount of pressure. Stephen Williams, on the early days, they'll come back. Wanganeen can't handle the football, come by Hodges, but a free kick has been played. It'll go the way of Wanganeen. This young boy's only 16 years of age, and you're going to hear a lot more of this young man in the years to come. Not much of him. What there is pretty talented, I can tell you. It's a magnificent kick up towards full forward. In fact, he got the distance. The only thing Australia was his accuracy, so he can certainly kick a football, and there he is, Wanganeen. 4 points Port Adelaide, the Tigers 4 straight goals.
You've posed an interesting question, Kim and KG. If anything does go wrong with the string and he's got 5 or 6 on him, who goes back there? Phillips? Time will tell. Maybe things won't go wrong. Christie there fighting for the ball. Hines over the top. And Studley Corns would be reasonably satisfied with a 4 goals to 4 point lead.
Daisy, wouldn't you consider Paul Northeast?
Yeah, that's another one. But has Northeast ever played full back? Cale probably knows that. Tregenza has the pace. All went round Brett Dean like he was a signpost. Kicks in towards the half-forward line. Big mark almost there by Elias. Working hard. Thompson's got the football. Tyler over the top, but the umpire will come in and bounce 30 metres out from the Port Adelaide goal.
I suppose if we extend that discussion a little further, one of the options would be for perhaps Tyler to go to full back. He's played there before. Hodges would go back to full forward. Hines, the centre half forward, and young Grimm off the bench into the ruck. But perhaps that situation won't arise. Elias jumps over the ball. Thompson in there showed great dash last week. Gets the kick away onto the left boot. Setting himself is Dean. Ran underneath the football and, according to the umpire, was pushed under the football. Brett Dean on the outer side. Kick number 4 for the Bay centreman. Big leap there taken by Carrera, and he's been in the action, and he may have been poked in the eye there. Let's hope that's not too bad. Former Broadview player in the Amateur League. Possesses quite a deal of talent. Puts it up high, and the mark's been taken by Christie, whose defensive play in the ruck was extremely good last week.
Christie from centre half back up towards the centre of the ground. Bartlett and Phillips both using their body. Ball to ground. Lamb working hard off the ground, taken by Bromelo. And turned to Simons. The Bay's going again with plenty of method up towards full forward. Pitch from behind. It's got to be a free kick. Yes, good umpiring. Free kick to Stringer. It's as plain as day. Fitch playing from behind the handball. Out towards Foster. Foster running out of defence with a long kick towards centre wing. Off hands. A chance now for Wanganeen. The Brownie's in trouble. Under the hammer he goes. Borlays back onto the right boot. Out towards half forward. Looking again for Wanganeen. He covers him too to that kid. Look at him go. Puts the ball in low. Beautifully put. That is great football, young Wanganeen. And Tyler a good lead, and he takes the mark. Well, that's better movement by Port Adelaide.
What a fine pass on the run. And when Tyler's led straight at him, it's not easy. Second kick. Tyler has kicked the point with his previous one. That's 2 points from 2 tries. Port Adelaide would like a goal right now. They're 5 points. The Bays are 4 goals. 16.5 minutes into the first quarter.
Yes, they're making hard work of it up front. That was clever football by Wanganeen. And as Ken mentioned, we certainly will see a lot more of that player. Seabohm brings the ball out, searching for Hallahan. Kept the ball in front. That was good work. Had 2 players to handball to, elected to kick. Leighton Lamb tried to use his body. That ball is forced over the line. Just by the interchange gates here at Football Park. Magnificent conditions. This should be a sterling contest. Push in the back by Christie. The free kick will go the way of Scott Hodges. Hodges drives long. Tyler sets himself. He'll have to come from behind. Has 2 players to compete against. Eventually the ball works its way to Elias at the back of the pack. And he was very content to let that ball go over the line.
Yes, the boundary umpire right on the mark there. That ball was certainly out of play. Elias indicating he held it in, but it was out of play for sure. Hodges contesting towards Brown. Patterson, flanked by Duthie. Bromelo working well in defence, the Tigers. Bromelo with his second bounce. McTavish creates the space, takes it on the first bounce, then loses the football. They come beautifully away. Rouvray moves beautifully, beautifully balanced play towards centre half forward. A poor kick thrown in the arms of Foster. They gave that away too easy, the Bays. A chance now for Carrera, who's playing superbly in the first quarter. Goes towards centre wing. A chance for Hutton. A great year last year. Straightens up towards full forward. Up high went Duthie, ball to ground. Duthie working well in defence there. The handball back towards Seabone. Rushes past to Borlaze, goes in again for the footy. He coming out hard on that occasion was Thompson's heavy body work. Finally a loose footy to Bromelo. Around his body, back towards McTavish. He has a bit of the fumbles on McTavish. Tackled by Smith, but he gets his kick away. Up towards centre wing, looking for Brett Dean. Hines is there. He loses the footy. Goes in a second time around his body, looking for Rowan Smith, and he takes it up.
Rowan Smith, attack side of centre wing, puts Port Adelaide into attack. On the left leg goes Foster up towards full forward. It's not well directed at all. Christie dropped the set up. Back goes Elias, supported now by Salisbury. Salisbury would have got a free kick, but the umpire said play to advantage. It was actually Elias's free kick. Dean over the top of Smith and Hines, and the ball goes out of play. Half forward, right flank. Port in attack. Well, they're doing most of the attacking at the moment, but they can't get it on the scoreboard.
Daisy, would it be fair to say they're struggling both in attack and defence at the moment?
Well, I think more in attack, Ken. Well, you're dead right. The Bays have got 4 goals, so point made.
Wanganeen thought about the handball. Beautiful balk that was. He reeks with class, young Wanganeen, and that was a magnificent pass to find Tyler. And hopefully for the sake of Wanganeen and the rest of the Port Adelaide team, Mark Tyler will be able to finish this off. Kicking from about 30 metres out. Oh, he's kicked into the man on the mark. That was atrocious. Jennifer a chance. Quickly threw it onto the boot. And the Magpies have got a goal. They've kicked 6 points.
Gee, Kim and Daisy, it's been a long time since I've seen a Port Adelaide side do it so hard in the first quarter of a game of footy. It's amazing.
Yeah, they're not looking smooth at all, Ken. They're getting the opportunities now through the likes of Wanganeen and Tregenza on the outer side, but they just can't convert them. Thompson developing into a nice half-back flanker, flips out the handball, taken there by Simons. Half-back flank, drives now to centre field, well taken by Clayton Lamb. Do you think this boy's pumped up for his first game? Simons, the Bays into attack, half-forward line, standing his ground is Dean. Too far out from goal for that, looking for Fidge. Fidge wants it in long, goes this way, that way. One-on-one, Fidge is going to have to climb. Got up very early. Rosonico in defence, gets the handball out. Here's a chance now for Brown. Can't get the sit. He's clear, and Port Adelaide get the ball out of defence. Williams, Foster. The Magpies run the ball out. Half-forward line, not well directed. And in defence, it's Elias who takes the mark at centre-half back.
Elias with the handball over towards Duthie, who's backed up well from the full-back position. Puts it up high. Rouvray front position. Rouvray couldn't take the mark. Through goes Salisbury. He'll throw it onto the boot. Couldn't do so. Wanganeen too quick with the tackle. Great desperation. There's the handball to Hines and turn to Hutton. And the siren sounds to end the first quarter. And it's the Glenelg side with a healthy advantage.
Yes, I thought the Bays obviously looked a far better side in that first quarter, both in defence and in attack. And I thought Port Adelaide, for the first time in a long, long time, looked a pretty ragged outfit.
Quarter time in the Foundation Cup at Footy Park. Glenelg 4 goals, Port Adelaide 6 points.
Let the night roll on.
And welcome back to Football Park. Quarter time in the big one. Port Adelaide and the Tigers. And there you see it. Glenelg a very good quarter. 4 goals, 24. Lead Port Adelaide goal 6 points. So certainly a fantastic performance. Fidge at full forward, 2 goals. McTavish and Rouvray 1. And Graham Campbell. I know there's no Russell Johnson and Darren Smith tonight, but it's a long time since I've seen a Port Adelaide side look as ragged as they are tonight.
I can't hear too good.
Well, Graham's not with us at the moment, but certainly from Port Adelaide's point of view, it is not good. They certainly lack someone up forward. Their defence is pretty ragged, and all in all, not a good performance by Port Adelaide, but from Glenelg's point of view, look, a very, very good side. It's your commentator, Ian Day.
Thanks, Ken. I think you may be a little harsh, KG. Kim, you know, they've hit the post twice.
Hit the post twice and certainly went into attack with a great deal more fluency in the last 10 minutes of the quarter. So I will agree to disagree with Ken once more, Ian. I thought Port fought back well in the last 10 minutes, but just couldn't convert.
At the start of the second quarter, Glenelg by 18 points in the 5 quarters played this evening at Footy Park. The end to which the Bays attacking in this second quarter is the scoring end. At the bounce, it'll be Melican from one side and Hines from the other. Good bounce by the umpire. Melican gets the tap quickly in Lamb. Couldn't get a decent kick away, taken by Tregenza. Immediately uses that pace to advantage. Oh, got caught high. Gives it away. Abba on the left leg. He'll send the Magpies into attack up towards full forward. Tyler charges out. Duthie over the top. Here's a chance for young Wanganeen. He's been legged. Well, the young fellow's right in the action. He's got the footy 30 metres out. He's given 2 chances away to fellow teammates who couldn't convert. This time he's going to get a chance himself, and the way he's kicked the football tonight, this is a dead set certainty. Enough said.
Well, Ian Day's been calling football for 26 years, and when he says something like that, you can put your house on it if you're game or if you're rich. But he called it well, and Wanganeen is a class player. You see here how he was tripped, and a little unlucky, Scott Salisbury, but that's the way football goes. And Wanganeen kicking truly for his first goal and for Port Adelaide's first. 12 points, plays 24.
Back at the centre, the ball goes towards half forward. Working hard as northeast, over towards Marshall. Marshall to Dean, the Bays going into attack. A high kick up towards full forward. It goes, oh, top mark. There too, Rosonico the player is. And Rosonico takes the mark. There is in replay.
Yeah, that's the top mark. Rosonico, well, of course, he came to South Australia more as a half forward. Port Adelaide have tried him in a few spots and he hasn't found a permanent place. Rouvray, fine mark, about 45 to 50 out. Might make the distance. Fidge on a short lead. He's put it out in front of Fidge. He's underneath the football, swallowed in the end. Ginniver tripped up over his own man in Hines. Mansell comes out with a footy, gives it back. Great smother there by Batterston, or at least from Batterston. The handball goes out again, still not successful. Heavy work. Abba goes in for the football. Now Hines, they can't get it out. The umpire lets it go. Finally Hutton, deep down a defence from him centre wing, finds Rowan Smith with a fine pass.
Rowan Smith with the football. That's his first kick, and he's been a quiet player of late. Was expecting big things of him tonight. This man's playing all right, though. Clayton Lamb's a long, penetrating kick. There's the mark by Fidge. It's been paid. Well, he did extremely well to get back and take that mark. It's his second mark for the night. He's kicked 2 goals.
Yeah, strong body work then, Kim, and we've seen that Fidge do that so many times in the past, and he is going to be an exciting player for the Bays.
There's no question that this will be his 3rd goal with his 4th kick, and that will surely pose the question for John Cale. How long will he persevere with Stringer? 3 goals in 1 quarter and 3 minutes. Not a bad effort. There's his 3rd.
Yes, certainly Fidge booting 3 goals has been a focal point for the Bays, but the ball was brought in superbly by Clayton Lamb. Weaved around the player, then sent a long kick up towards Fidge, and Fidge far too strong for Stringer.
on that occasion coming from behind and kicking the goal from point-blank range. And now, of course, the Waves go to 5 goals. Port Adelaide 1-6.
The Bays now by 18 points, 5 goals to 1-6. Methinks the way Clayton Lamb has started, he's going to enjoy his time with the Bays. A magnificent kick into Fidge at the bounce. Malikan, well, got up high, but got up early. Line ball, that one. Well taken out by Dean, flips it over, beautifully done now. Bromelo drives in towards Fidge again, intercepting Rosonico. Fidge over the top, once holding the ball. Rouvray there, but umpire Kevin Chambers will come in and bounce 35 metres out in front. Fidge, all full forwards, like them coming in quickly, one-on-one, gives them a chance, one out. Malikan up. Finds Mansell, beautifully done. Out to Simons, all he needs is a sit. Hooks around the corner, the umpire said it's home again. Beautifully done, Tony Simons. The Bays have got 6 on the board, 6 goals to 1-6 on Nine's wide world of sports.
Well, Tony Simons certainly enjoys kicking goals, he'll tell you that. And you can't afford to give him a few yards when he drifts down from his wing. The handball came out, it set up nicely for him. The right snapshot was perfectly executed, and he can thank his young teammate in Mansell there for setting up that goal. The Bays are looking pretty sharp. 6 goals straight, though. Port have had more scoring shots on 1-6.
Back with umpire Mike Abbott. This will test the character of that mighty Port Adelaide club as they trail the Bays at the moment by something like 24 points. The Maggies will come back, make no mistake, as they do now. They go towards centre half forward, but good in defence is Seabone. Bromelo playing well at half back. Carrera, that's Bromelo's 7th kick, and this bloke's playing well for Port Adelaide. And here is the first 50-metre of the game, and quite rightly so. Ridiculous stuff. Scrambly, horrible stuff, and Clayton Lamb. First 50-metre of the game. $1,000 a metre. Unbelievable stuff, isn't it? Carrera, kick number 6 is a shocker. Into the pocket it goes. Brown, the crumbs. Centres are beautifully looking for Hodges. Oh, Elias. Unbelievable stuff, Elias. Nothing but nothing going right for Port Adelaide. Nothing wrong for the Bays.
Funnily enough, in the end, the umpire gave the free kick for holding on rather than them paid the mark. It would have been a paid, of course. Dean couldn't get rid of the football. Great tackle, Stephen Williams. Tregenza onto the boot quickly. Up Hodges! Beautifully done on the lead. Stephen Williams started that off, but the Magpies got rid of the ball quickly and accurately. Well, Hodges in Campbell's corner. The angle is there. It's evident. He's only 30 metres out. He'll have to take the right goalpost, and would you believe it went right further. 1 point only to Port Adelaide. They can't find the big white uprights. 1-7 plays 6 goals.
Scott Hodges started the game at centre half forward. Seabone now kicks out wide, searching for Simons. Managed to get away from Hutton. Simons kicked the last goal for the Tigers. Kick number 6. The dashing wingman places that to perfection to find David Marshall. He appeals for 50 metres. But umpire Chambers wouldn't buy into that. Big Malikan with the football. Centres it nicely to centre half forward. Underneath at northeast. Coming through the pack was Foster. Good football over towards Abernathy. Thought about going to the right. Now goes back to the left. Onto the right boot. Made up invaluable ground there. And look at that for a pass. Tim Ginniver just sitting there waiting. And the Magpies surely will kick their second goal at the 8-minute mark. Kick number 4 for Ginniver. And he's popped it through.
There you see Ginniver taking the mark. A kick coming in from Abernathy, and Tim Ginniver talking to Scotty Salisbury there, having a jovial little chat. Very competitive, both players.
I think Abernathy will like Kim Dillon. Said he passed the ball. For mine, he was having a shot at goal, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Stephen Williams again jams the ball onto the boot up towards the half-forward line. Elias is showing a lot of courage and going for the ball and strength. quickly onto the boot of Hodges, half forward line. Ginniver gets the bounce. Tregenza runs into a corner, back to Ginniver, straightens up, puts out the pass on the lead. It's beautifully done to Tyler. Lace out on a thrupney bit. 35 metres out in front. He's had 3 goes for 2 points, and one smothered off the boot when 30 metres out. Kick number 4. His luck has got to change shortly.
He's giving himself plenty of room, Ian.
Won't kick into the man this time, and he has got it. Booted his first. Port Adelaide fight back, but trail 3-7 to 6 goals on Nine's wide world of sports.
Well, let's have a look at that. The pass was very good from Ginniver, and the mark was taken quite easily on the chest by Tyler. Let's look at it once more. Tregenza couldn't use his evasive skills to elude the tackle. He had to feed back towards Ginniver, and that pass was placed to perfection, and Tyler took it on the chest, and he certainly learnt by his previous mistake, giving himself plenty of room to kick that ball.
Port Adelaide coming right back at the base now, trail by 11 points, back at the centre. 9.5 minutes into the second quarter, taken by Hines. Did it like a rover. Tregenza starting to win kicks. That was magical stuff by Tregenza. Out towards half forward. Tyler, can he mark it? He can. Well, he's giving Duthie the run round now, and Tyler is giving Port Adelaide someone to aim at. Good mark on that occasion, but beautifully put by Tregenza. Super stuff. Kick number 5 to Tyler. It's normally a long kick. It'll lob in the square of hands. Taken by Port Adelaide. The kick shot up in there. Borlase was the player. Ball to ground. Ginniver again. Look at him go in there. Head down. Most to get the handball out. Also in there was Bromelo. Back to Marshall. He's skillful. Dummies. Did it beautifully over to Thompson. That was good stuff by Marshall. Thompson's kick back towards centre wing. Bartlett in front. Ball to ground. Taken by Lamb. Busted off the ball by Northeast. Well done, Northeast. Working hard. Hines. More desperation now with the Magpies. Carrera up towards half-forward Brown. Marshall, up they go. The free kick, yes. 3 big leap Carrera. Over the top, he's gone. He is down and out. Will not get up, I don't think, or will he? He's in trouble, heaps of trouble, as he limps towards the boundary line. I think it's probably an ankle. Knee, whatever it is, the boy is not well.
Ian, he landed awkwardly on his left knee. Let's look at it once more. That was the knee damaged last season, I'm sure of that. And let's hope it hasn't popped out again.
Big kick up towards full forward, almost a mark off the back there. Quickly running the ball through is McTavish, and 1 point only to Port Adelaide.
And you really have to sympathise with Carrera. Let's hope that's not serious. He has a lot of ability, and that would just be tragic at this stage of the season to happen to anyone. But for a man that went through the pain that he experienced last season, that is a real tragedy.
Yeah, they're bringing out the stretcher. When he went down, I've just wondered whether his knee went through the lock. Yeah, it's his left knee, and scores at Footy Park. 6 goals to Bay, 3-8 Port Adelaide.
There we see the score. Glenelg leading by 10 points. Port Adelaide were fighting back very strongly until this unfortunate accident happening here to Carrera. He'd already had 7 kicks and 4 handballs. There's no time on in this game, so this is unfortunate in more ways than one for Port Adelaide, Ken.
Well, it is, Kimbo, but this is the young bloke that I feel sorry for. He's worked extremely hard to get over that crippling knee injury, and he was playing so well. He's a terrific young bloke. He really is. And I like you, I only hope that he hasn't damaged that knee again, because football can ill afford to lose players of this bloke's calibre and also his character. He's a terrific lad, and gee whiz, that's put a real damper on the night, but let's hope he's okay.
Look at the frustration of the boy. Obviously he's in pain. The crowd gave him a big round of applause as he stretched it from the arena straight down into the Port Adelaide rooms. And in the meantime, the ball will come back to centre half forward. Where are we up to now? I know it's a point. Of course, McTavish ran the ball over the goal line, so we'll see the kick in from there.
10-point advantage to the Tigers. Let's see if the Magpies can pick up where they left off. They were certainly attacking incessantly. Marshall an opportunity. Tregenza, The free kick will go the way of David Marshall. And he normally can kick a long ball. That's exactly what he does. Puts it up. Mark, the ball goes to the back of the pack. Picking it up well is Mansell. Over towards Dean. Thinks about a shot for goal, then proceeds to do so, and he's kicked it.
Yes, Mansell over to Dean, and what's this handball by Mansell? It's Darren Mansell coming out as Nigel to his mates at the bay, and Brett Dean, the boy from Rogue, is a very skillful young footballer, made no mistake. And let's hope that young Brett Dean can in fact have a big year, because he's a young man full of talent.
"11 shots to 7, and yet the Bays lead by 16 points. Thompson runs into it, but gets a free kick for a high tackle. He'll send the Bays into attack through Seabone. That's a ground covering kick up to Fidge, thumped away by Stringer. Mansell gets it further on at Rouvray. Winds around, hooks for goal. The umpire goes galloping. It's offline for a point, and the Bays have broken their sequence of goals. 7-1, plays 3-8.
15 minutes into the second quarter, and it's Stringer about to bring the ball back into play for the Magpies. Stringer with the football now. Kicks it out wide. Thumped away. Rowan Smith has been a very quiet player. Only his third kick for the game. Kicks back towards centre wing, but it's all Glenelg get through. Bartlett over to Marshall. Marshall back towards the centre of the ground. Oh, over the top of fantastic mark by Wanganeen. Flanked on that occasion by Abernathy. Portal into attack with John Seabone. Oh, it's a shocking handball. Put Salisbury under the hammer. It really did. In goes Jennifer. Here's a chance for the Maggies as they build an attack over the top towards Hodges. He shouldn't miss. Will he kick or draw the player? Draws the player. Tyler, thank you very much.
Great goal to Port Adelaide, but Gio golly gosh, do you think John Seabone put his teammate into trouble in Salisbury? He got rid of it like a hot-hallowed brick, I can tell you, and Salisbury ran into a brick wall. He was unloaded. I don't know whether we're going back that far in the replay, but it was just a chain of handballs. Hodges elected that Tyler was going to kick the goal. He booted his second, and Port Adelaide right back in the fight. 7-1 to 4-8 on Nine's Wide World of Sport. Yes, we almost got it in the corner, and we're getting it back again.
12 scoring shots to 8, yet Glenelg still lead. 7-1 to 4-8. Up high there was Hines. Wasn't an effective tack. Batterson's been quiet tonight. Last week he was a star, struggling a little bit with the extra pressure being applied by the Magpies. The ball clears the pack. In there, or working hard, it appeared to be Hallahan. Well, Rouvray, a crude tackle. And the free kick will go the way of Paul Northeast. Kicks out wide. Places it nicely to find Hutton. Hutton goes back infield, driving it towards centre half forward. Christie sets himself, couldn't take the mark. Wanganeen in there. Oh, he's great to watch, this lad. Over towards Stephen Williams. He's been quiet tonight. Setting himself, Tyler couldn't take it. Must be a free kick, and it's been awarded. Well, a little bit of drama at both ends of the ground. Fidge causing problems for Stringer, and now Tyler giving Duthie a bath. Have a look at that.
Yes, that was a high tackle, and you're right, Kim. Mark Tyler is certainly creating havoc for Port Adelaide up forward. Kick number 7.
Could be goal number 3. He's kicked 2-2 already, and now he's kicked 3 goals too.
Here we see in replay Tyler, his eyes on the ball. Duthie coming in late. The tackle was high, and a good goal, Mark Tyler. And now Port 5-8, 38, trail only by 5 points. Glenelg 7-1. Salisbury off for the Bays. Gibbs on.
I think you fellas are just a little harsh on Chris Duthie. The ball has come into Tyler on 3 or 4 occasions where no one in the world would ever cut it off. The passes have been pinpointed, but nevertheless Duthie's going to have to try to cut off the passes at the source. That's not Duthie's job, that's the Rovers' job. Hines gets it over to Borlase. They go into attack through Jenner off the side of his boot. Hodges leads in the race to the ball, but at Rowan Smith with a bounce. Jennifer through. Port Adelaide in again, half forward line. Unloaded is Wanganeen quickly. Or Borlase might be a high tackle. That's the way the umpires ruled. Port getting them now. Couldn't get it in a better place. 35, 40 metres out. He ducked right into it. But nevertheless, the rule doesn't say that you've got to be standing or sitting when they grab you high. Bourlays, head on to goal, kick number 6. The kick is going to die in its track. Christie back in defence and takes a fine defensive mark.
Good mark by Christie in the last line of defence as we go to the 19th minute mark of the second quarter. And it's the Tigers by 5 points. Certainly been a good quarter by the Magpies. Kick back towards the half-back flank. Knocked away from Rouvray. Patterson, gee whiz, he has been quiet tonight. Chance for Tregenza. Battles hard, then lose it. Patterson in there. So is Russell Boyd. Patterson will get a free kick. Will he? No. He looked for the free kick. But umpire Mick Abbott said throw it into the boundary umpire. Former Melbourne and Sydney Swans play on your screen. Adrian Patterson. Over the top, Christie. A chance for Gibbs, who's just come onto the ground. Gibbs goes across the face of goals. Chance once more for Tyler. He's flanked by Hutton. Tyler working hard. Duthie goes in there, but the ball finally is forced out of play. 20 minutes into the second quarter. It's Glenelg 7-1-43. The Magpies 5-8-38.
Yes, Ken, unlike their first quarter when they kicked 6 points, this quarter they've kicked 5-2. Lot better effort, and they're playing better football in the bays at the moment. Christie unloads it over to Thompson. In turn, the long handball out should find Gibbs. Off the half-back line go the Bays. High towards the half-forward line. Phillips there, big leap. Mansell not successful. In goes Rosonico, looking for the tackle, or is he? Bartlett can't get it out. McTavish is swallowed. Down he goes, and that could be holding the ball. That's the way the umpire rules. And the free kick will go to Bourlays on the half-back line, and McTavish not real keen to give it up. And he's been pinged 50 metres. Well, that will take a bit of the keenness out of them not to give the ball out. And it's a good 50 metres too. Bourlays has been brought to about centre-half forward. His previous kick from here didn't make the grade. They may be kicking into the breeze. Almost siren time. He's pushed it over to Abernethy. Siren sounds. Kick will stand. And Abba's going to have to kick the biggest one of his life to kick a goal from here. Well, Abernethy is probably as long as any kick in the Port Adelaide side. If he can't make it, I don't think anyone can. He tumbles a screw punt. It's light on distance. At half-time, the Bays lead by 5 points.
Yes, at half-time, a good quarter by Port Adelaide to get back at the Bays. Glenelg 7-1-43, Port Adelaide 5-8-38, a margin of 5 points. Stay with us. We'll come back after the half-time break. In fact, during the half-time break, and give you a report on the injury to Young Career. Let's hope it's not serious. Back shortly.
Welcome back to headquarters, and there you see it at half-time. A magnificent second quarter by Port Adelaide, bringing themselves right back into the game at 7-1-43 the Bays. Port Adelaide 5-8-38, so the Bays in front at half-time by only 5 points. And there you see the main goal kickers, the Tigers Fitch booting 3, and for Port Adelaide, Tyler also booting 3. And Graham Campbell, certainly a great second quarter by Port Adelaide. They looked ragged in the first quarter, but a lot more method in their game in that second term.
Well, Ken, to be honest, they had to kick straight in the first quarter, or anywhere near straight. They might have been, you know, labelled as, well, the quarter would have been a lot more productive for them, but they just weren't able to find the goals, were they? 0-6 is very poor return for Port Adelaide. But the second quarter, yes, Ken, it was all Port. Tyler got hold of it at the full forward. And Wanganeen's the bloke.
Fantastic.
I've been so impressed with that kid. I can't believe he's as good as he is for the age he is. He's 16.
And also Tyler up forward, I thought, gave Port Adelaide something to kick to.
Well, he certainly did, Ken. I said that. And 3 goals was the end result of his work. And at the other end, of course, John Finch has got 3, so it's tit for tat there.
Fantastic stuff. And of course, we saw in the earlier game tonight a magnificent performance by the Eagles. And there you see it quarter by quarter. The Eagles in front at quarter time. Also at half time. In fact, they led for the entire game. And they ran out winners 10 goals at 17-77 to North Adelaide there. Disappointing performance. The main goal kickers, Morfitt and Neiman 2 each. Also Bullis. A very fine performance by young Paul Bullis. He's going to be a star of the future. And for North Adelaide, Hart booting 3. OK, let's now take you to Kim Dillon.
Thanks very much, Ken. With me is West Torrens rover Craig Somerville. Now, perhaps, Craig, if we go through the history of your career, you're not a new player to West Torrens, even though you've only played your first league game this year. You actually came to the club last year, but had a few problems with injuries.
Yeah, I had a hamstring problem last year. I tore it 4 times. And I just sort of trying to get back a little bit too early, I suppose, and just kept on tearing it. And this year I sort of worked on it in the gym and that, and sort of, you know, it's strengthened up and, you know, back to normal fitness.
Well, you look pretty sharp tonight. Now let's get back to the Brisbane Bears. You went up there after playing for Footscray, where you played about 10 games. Now, one, what was Peter Knights like as a coach, and what was the atmosphere like at the Bears?
Yeah, Knights is a good coach. You know, I got a lot out of him, and you know, I think he didn't really have the respect from the players, and all that sort of proved it after he left. They started winning games, but you know, he just didn't have the respect from the players, and you know,
Do you think that he suffered from being a first-year coach? It's obviously not easy to all of a sudden take charge of about 40 guys when you've never coached before.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's pretty hard to sort of just throw a side together and have success. But you know, I think he was a decent coach. You know, I've got a lot from him.
Prior to that, you played with Footscray, and you had Mickey Malthouse, who's now coaching the West Coast Eagles. So
yeah,
you fellas certainly get around a little bit.
Yeah.
How'd you find Mick?
Yeah, Mick's a great coach. Like, I got to learn a lot of Mick, because when I was so young when I went down there, and you know, Mick's just a great bloke.
Well, you've made the move to Adelaide now. You're playing with the Eagles. You look like having a good season. What changes do you notice from your past football to here playing in Adelaide and playing under Andy Bennett?
Well, it was a hard one, actually. It's probably nearly the same, actually. You know, I'm enjoying my football a lot better now. You know, I've played a couple of league games now, and hopefully I'll go on from there.
Well, you're probably going to be opposed to one of the guys you live with, and that's Rodney Tattison from South Adelaide. How's that going to be when we meet South Adelaide? Or when we? How's that? When Torrens meet South Adelaide?
I played with Rodney at Footscray, and we sort of know a bit about each other, so that'll be interesting, actually.
All right, Craig, all the very best for this season, and thanks for your time tonight.
Thanks, Kim.
That's Kim Dillon talking to Craig Somerville, the new boy for West Torrens, and let's hope he can have a good season. Well, Graham is setting a great deal of prize money in this Foundation Cup, and no doubt the clubs will be looking forward to winning that 30,000 first prize.
Well, that's what's important tonight. Can Port get up? I mean, they can't contest that 30,000 unless they win tonight.
It's important for Port Adelaide and its supporters, for sure.
Oh, sure, Ken. And if the Bays drop this one, I'm not saying they will, but you know, if they do drop it, they'll be on the same level as Port.
There's the premiership table as it stands after round one.
So on top.
Well, it's amazing, isn't it, Graham?
Well, look at that. Yeah, you can't believe that on last year's form, I mean. But it counts for nothing, Ken, last year. In fact, last week counts for nothing. After seeing West Torrens destroy North Adelaide in that early game tonight. I mean, it's just on the night or on the day, whatever the case may be, and whatever side gets a break, especially early, Ken, when it's only 21-minute quarters, it doesn't pan out like a normal game, you see. You can get a 3 or 4 goal break, as the Bays did the first quarter.
We could have a situation where we have each side have won one game up to round 2. That'd be fantastic.
I hope that happens, Ken. I really do, just for the sake of the competition.
And the other games coming up over the weekend, it's West versus South at Richmond. Sunday, it's at Balhanna, Norwood versus the Bulldogs, and Monday, of course, live at Football Park, Woodville versus Sturt.
Ken,
that should
my
be a
big
marvellous
mouth,
contest.
it can't happen already. West and South are meeting, haven't won a game, so we can't get them both winning a game in the first 2 rounds. West Adelaide probably win that one, deep down.
Well,
it's at home.
Yeah, at home, but they tell me South were impressive against Norwood last week.
They tell me, yeah, I didn't see the game. See, I saw Westies, I didn't see the Panthers, so I might lean to West Adelaide by 1 to 10.
OK, let's take you to the boundary now, and of course speak with David Mackay. And David, in your report on that nasty injury to the Port Adelaide player, young Paul Carrera.
KG, it's real bad news for Port Adelaide.
No.
I've just been into the rooms. Peter Carrera has popped his left kneecap. It went out and back in, but unfortunately in doing so, it's torn the outside ligaments of his knee. They'll certainly be operating on him perhaps in a couple of days after the injury cools down, but he may well miss the rest of the season. So at this stage, it's real bad news for Peter Carrera. He's starting to play well, and of course it is the same knee that he did last year against West Torrens. So Port Adelaide fans, bad news.
Well, that certainly is bad news, Graham.
He was in their top 3, Kim, when he got hurt. No question about that. You had Wanganeen, you had Carrera, and perhaps Geneva or David Hines. They were all doing their job, but that's sad, really sad.
And a terrific young bloke, and let's hope he has a speedy recovery. OK, we'll come back to headquarters right after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Football Park, Graham. Beautiful night here, and a big crowd too, Graham.
Great, Ken. I mean, Port always drag a crowd, don't they?
They do. They're unbelievable, and you must pay them that big credit.
Compliment.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bays get a lot of supporters as well, but when Port play anybody, you just get that over 10 to 12,000 every time.
Well, Graham, in the first quarter of the Bays, I thought had a lot of good players. In fact, I thought McTavish in the first quarter was one of the Bays' best, but he dropped out of the game in the second term.
And Ken, they were irrepressible the first quarter. They looked like they were going on with a big job of destroying Port, but football's a funny game. You keep at it all the time, and there's McTavish's first goal. It's a classic goal. Part of a half-forward flank then, Ken. I think he's ruck roving from the flank at that stage. and that was a Rovers goal.
Another guy that's impressed me, who's going to kick many, many goals for the Bays this year if he stays fit, and that's Fidge. He's strong, Graham.
Yep, I like Fidge. You know, last year we didn't see enough of him. Certainly didn't see the best of him. He turned that around, Ken. That wasn't easy. You know, class players, I'm not saying he's a real class player, but I mean good players make goal kicking look easy. But it isn't easy, I tell you.
Well, he can do it both ways, Graham. He can do it on the ground and also in the air, Fidge, can't he?
That's right, and that was a classic example of turning something or nothing into something. There he is again.
And there's an example of his body strength.
And caught behind Paul Stringer.
Yep.
Didn't matter. Retained control of the ball, brought it to the ground, and of course finished it off. I had to kick a goal from there. I think I would have got a goal from there.
Well, I wouldn't go quite that far, Graham.
No,
and of
maybe
course,
not.
talking about full forwards, I thought Tyler, who was well held in the first quarter, came back strongly in that second term.
I like Tyler. Perseverance has paid off for him, and don't forget Scott Hodges has helped him a bit too. But there's Tim Ginniver. He really sparked off that second quarter also.
Wasn't that a great kick?
Well, he was so quick, Ken. He was so alert to what was going on. And Ginniver put the ball out in front of him, gave him a run at the ball, and Tyler did the rest. And more importantly, kicked straight.
Yeah, fantastic. So, what's your impressions of young Brett Dean? He came from Robe with big raps from the Bays.
I like Brett Dean. He's a cool customer. A lot of boys would have got flustered then. He thought about it, sized up the situation, and split the centre, Ken. No problems at all with Brett Dean. He's got what it takes. He's a class. Well, he's going to be a class player.
Yeah.
You can't say class yet. The kid's had one season in league footy.
Well, have you seen Durfee's performance on Tyler up at
It's been
fullback?
unfortunate, been caught between, you know, nowhere and somewhere. Like
Yeah.
he goes forward to meet the player, and over the top, there it is. Dragenza over to Scotty Hodges. He did the clever thing, Scott. He did the team thing. Gave it to Mark Tyler. I'm glad Mark Tyler didn't kick the ball out of the arena. I hate that, Ken.
Really great.
Just kick over the line, that'll do. Get the ball back in the play. The side's on fire. You've got a goal. Let's go on with the job. Some guys kick the ball out of the ballpark, and the game's dead for 5 minutes.
Fair enough. Comment Graham Campbell as we go to David Mackay.
Thank you, KG. With me I have Port Adelaide centre-half forward Darren Smith, who's out tonight with a knee injury. Darren, I believe the injury happened in the last few minutes of last week's game at Port Pirie.
Yeah, unfortunately it was about 5 minutes to go and had a collision with one of the North players and just wrenched my knee a little bit.
Well, can we have an update on it? How serious is it? Will you be back in a week or two?
Well, it's not that serious, and hopefully be back next week.
Well, that's good news. The other good news is that Port Adelaide that quarter really fought back. It looked grim at quarter time.
Yeah, they weren't playing all that well, like the same as what we did at Pirie the other night, but they fought back well, as Port Adelaide known to do, so it's good.
Darren, the bad news, of course, is that Peter Creer is out, what appears to be for the rest of the year with that knee injury. Bad news?
Yeah, well, he did the same knee, or same sort of thing last year, and that put him out for the rest of last year, and unfortunately he's done it again after all the hard work over the summer.
The other good news, of course, for Port Adelaide is that you've decided to stay this year. You've signed a one-year contract after refusing a lucrative offer to join Essendon. What made you stay?
Well, the fact that they've got me on the retention scheme, and that's very lucrative to me too, but to leave a club like Port Adelaide is very hard to do, so it's good to stay there.
Thanks very much for your time this evening. Good luck for the year.
Thanks, David.
Welcome back to Football Park, the exciting second half of Game 2 tonight in the Foundation Cup, should I say, where Glenelg 7-1 lead Port Adelaide 5-8, 38, a margin of 5 points, and certainly a great second quarter by Port Adelaide to take up the call for the third quarter. Ian Day.
Thanks, Ken. Yes, everything in readiness. Umpire Chambers. Night still perfect. Hardly a breath of air. You cannot believe the conditions down here for the footballers. Hope you're enjoying it at home, watching it through the Nine's wide world of sports. At the bounce, it's going to be Hines against Melican. Good bounce by the umpire. Line ball, that one. Couldn't get it out. Batterston can. The Bay's into attack. Tumbles one up towards the half-forward line. Mansell wanted to sit, couldn't get it. Phillips goes back, becoming to meet it and doing it well with Stringer. Over to Rosonico, got it back in the 1-2. Drives long, up towards the half-forward line. Over the top there came, that was Jason Bromelo. Now it's a chance for Elias to get it out. Oh, the body's going hard. The tackle looked a little high on Marshall. Down at the bottom is Borlase, but the umpire's going to ball it up on the half-forward line for Port Adelaide. 7-1 to 5-8, and the way Port is playing, they look good for the second half. Kim.
Yes, good second term by Port Adelaide, 56 possessions to Glenelg's 31, so they had control of the ball on 25 more occasions as Elias soccers that off the ground. No kicking in danger. It's picked up now by Tregenza, kicked back towards centre half forward. Hutton in the action, opposed to Simons, two skillful players. The ball picked up now, or attempting to pick it up, is Hodges. Taps it back towards Brown. He's been quiet. Simons out to Thompson. Lyndon Bow onto the field. The boy from Broken Hill drops it in and finds Brett Dean. Dean's handball put Batterson under a bit of pressure, but he was equal to that to get it over to McTavish, who in turn uses the run of Marshall, who spears out a pass, and he's found Hallahan, who lines up the goals. It's an unprotected goal, getting back there northeast, and he just made it. I think he did, and it was a photo finish.
Top stuff by Paul Northeast, running at 100 miles an hour, the same way as the footy, and only centimetres from the goal line. The kick-off by Stringer comes toward Geneva, who worked terrifically hard in that second term. Back towards centre wing. Russell Boyd, who came on in that second quarter, as the mark or the free kick. Take your pick. He'll put Port Adelaide into attack towards centre half forward. Bromelo in front, thumped away from that player. Crumbed well by Gibbs. Goes towards the safety of the line. Bow again, who has come onto the ground, but can't pick up the football, and it's forced out of play. So it's Glenelg 7-2, 44. Port Adelaide 5-8, 38. We're watching this game on Nine's Wide World of Sports. The throw in. Over the top went Melican. Hodges. Bow wants to gain the ball out of play.
Just an interesting observation, Ian. Greg Phillips has had one handball for the match, and we're into the third term. But in Phillips' own incredible way, he's kept Bartlett down to a minimal amount of touches as well.
That's Greg Phillips' game. Clayton Lamb gets the football out to Thompson. Thompson towards centre wing. Big leap there by Bartlett. Rouvray it was. The ball comes quickly now to Hutton. Port Adelaide into attack to the half-forward line. Gee, there was some courage shown there. Well done. Geneva got it out to Brown. Brown needs to sit. Boots in towards full forward. Doothy's there. Well shepherded by Seabohm in the end, and it's Elias who takes the mark. Elias from the back pocket. Edges the ball back towards the half-back line. Bartlett's going to get the leap and takes the mark, but he's come right from the half-forward line onto the half-back line to get it. Centres the ball. Working hard, Rouvray. Well, that's a fine mark by the youngster. He's the attack side of centre wing. Phillips not about to give him back the ball. Fifth kick to Rouvray. Fidge on the lead. Could get a leap away here. Over the top. Stringer lost the football, joined by Foster. Against the tide was Mansell, comes out with a footy, gives it back to Fidge. No one back there except Port Adelaide's Stephen Williams, who comes across and takes the easy defensive mark.
Phillips should get his first kick for the game. He takes his first mark. Looking for support, decides to kick it. One kick, one handball, Greg Phillips, and he found Boyd. So Boyd, another player that's been shadowed by injuries throughout his career. But didn't he finish off last season in tremendous fashion, coming off that interchange bench? The ball put forward, and the mark's been taken by Borlase. Foster was the man who dropped in the short pass. And Daisy Borlase, with kick number 8, is one of the better kicks for goal in South Australian football. It's pretty good off the boot. The umpire hardly moves. Borlase Borlase has kicked his first.
Borlase, an opportunist up forward, and Foster did it pretty well, just brushing past Bromelo. Raised the eyes and saw Borlase was the man there, and beautiful left foot kick, and Borlase made no mistake. The scores are all tied away.
Stevens in the Foundation Cup, 44 points apiece. Hallahan gets the ball out. Dean with a chance now. Good on the left leg. Short Finch. Well, the pass is a shocker. Not like Wanganeen's, the ones he's been sending out. Foster in the back pocket. Got a little late getting rid of it. Well done, Simons. He snooked it. Hooks around the corner, but it was smothered off the boot. Now a chance for Fidge. Fidge shoots high. Up towards full forward. Port Adelaide defence set themselves. Dumped away by North East. Foster in the action. Under Toilets holding the ball. Gone for money. Great tackle there by Brett Dean. Foster not happy, but Dean has got a free kick about 25 metres out on a 60-degree angle.
And Foster had an opportunity to get rid of that. He explained to the umpire that he did handball it, but it was all too late. That's a great tackle by Brett Dean.
Amazing how often that these umpires don't listen after they've given a free kick. Dean, kick number 9, has already booted one. Bays would like another one right now. He's offline for a point, but that's enough to put them in front. 7-3 plays 6-8.
Paul North East was very helpful to the goal umpire then, just making sure he was aware that that ball did go through for a point in a rather enthusiastic fashion. The pass from Stringer finds Borlase, the man that kicked the last goal for the Magpies. So perhaps Daisy having a run on the ball. Daisy Borlase up towards Hodges. Elias takes the mark. He's proved to be a pretty solid customer in the 2 outings we've seen him in thus far. McTavish over towards Lamb. Quiet so far in this 3rd term. The long kick from Melican. Bidge front position, punched away from him. Borlase once more. The handball over to Phillip. Kick number 2. Puts it out wide, and he's found David Brown. Another player that's been quiet, Ken, for the Pies, but I'm sure he'll come into it in this 2nd half.
Brown goes in short, or not well put. This allows Hallahan in. He's busted off the football, goes in the 2nd time, and in fact it's a high tackle. Hallahan on the attacking side of centre. The Tigers once more up towards full forward. Hines in front, should take the mark, but he doesn't. Borlase with an opportunity now. Does it cleverly, Borlase, and is well tackled. Hallahan goes in again. His kick is smothered. Borlase working hard with another kick back towards centre wing. Melican to Marshall. Up high back towards centre half forward. Off hands. It's heavy stuff out there. Bromelo went down. It's aerial ping pong at the moment, but a good mark by Stephen Williams, who appears to be ruck roving in this 3rd quarter with Abernethy moving into the middle. Williams towards half forward. Thompson over the top. Off hands. Hodges in towards goal, but it's sadly astray once again. That's been the story of Port Adelaide's game tonight. They can't kick straight. They've booted 6-9. They level the scores away with the Bays 7-3-45.
KG, the Bays forward line's a mess. That Port Adelaide in defence is too strong. Most pundits, being included, thought the inexperienced Port Adelaide defence might have been under a lot more pressure than they are at the moment. Dean, Rosonico. Tackled by Lamb's a little high, and the umpire's given Rosonico a free kick. He seems to be more up the centre of the ground. He might have just chased up his player in Mansell from the back pocket, but Rosonico boots the Magpies into attack. Ginniver. Port Adelaide Rovers certainly had the best of the duels in the small man department, and a nice little pass out to his teammate in Hutt. Hutton, an awkward looking kick, may not make it from there. Batterston's been very quiet. Hallahan. Hutton, however, for Port Adelaide, shooting for goal off the side of his boot, up towards the forward pocket. Big leap by Russell Boyd. Thompson's got the mark, but I'm sure that Boyd would have given away a free kick in any case.
He certainly has a go, Russell Boyd. Back there is Tregenza, needs the support of Abernethy. He thumps the ball back centre field. Williams has an opportunity now if he can pick it up. Great evasive skills. He's a clever player, but he was dispossessed. And whilst he's still in there trying, it will be umpire Kevin Chambers to bounce the ball. We've had nearly 10 minutes of this third term. 6-9 plays 7-3. The scores are locked away here at Football Park, and the action's coming to you courtesy of Nine's Wide World of Sports. And have a look at the pace of this fella. Tregenza, he lines them up. And he's put Port Adelaide in front, I think, for the first time this evening.
Well, that was great football by Tregenza. Showed blistering pace. He was beautifully balanced and ran it superbly. It deserved a goal, but that wasn't the case. And Port Adelaide, gee whiz, with 16 scoring shots to 10. Tells the story. As Seaborn kicks off, Simons thought about playing on. I thought he was off, actually. Goes back onto the left boot with kick number 9. It's all the bays here. Elias, centre wing out of side. Graham Campbell likes his play. Told me at half-time. He was very impressed with this young man. Towards centre half forward. Hines went through his hands. Hallahan working hard. Bartlett's been very quiet at centre half forward, but the Bays not. He's in the action now. Tackled on that occasion by Wanganeen. Loses the football. The Bays are still in the possession market here. Simons back to Melican, back to Simons. Oh, did it beautifully. The Chook did it superbly. Don't tell me he's kicked the goal. No, he hasn't. Deserved a goal. Threaded it like a needle. Glenelg 7-4-46. Port 6-10-46.
What's this Chook business? How'd that come into it?
That's his nickname. Where you been all these years?
Well, KG, I've been around for a while too, but I've never heard it before, but I'll believe you.
You're mixing the right circle.
You certainly come up with all the grubby stuff.
What, foul yards? Is that where we should be, Ken?
Hutton gets the kick back towards the centre. It's taken by Marshall. Marshall sends it back towards the half-forward line. Rouvray in front. With the back as a chance for Dean, but well played by Port Adelaide through northeast. Out towards centre wing and Thompson. Thompson against Boyle. Down goes Thompson. It's got to be a free kick, and he'll get it in that spot. Just the attack side of centre wing to send the Bays into attack. Oh, he's gone short. Didn't gain a great deal out of that. Hardly 10 metres. McTavish goes in longer. On the lead is Fidge, and that's where the ball ends. Good pass. Now, Fidge might be beyond his distance. I think he is kicking into the breeze, although it doesn't look to be evident. The ball is certainly not travelling as far going to the southern end. Fidge is not confident of making the distance. In fact, he put up more hope than anything, and Wanganeen takes the easy defensive mark.
Good pressure by the Port Adelaide defence, cutting off all leads provided by Glenelg. Great experience shown by Abernathy. Kick number 6 for Wanganeen. The ball comes down towards Brown. He's only had 3 kicks and 3 handballs for the match. The handball from Simons over towards Lyndon Bowe. The players set themselves. Big fist away there. That appeared to be Stringer, and he found the safety of the boundary line, which is good play at the 12-minute mark of the third term, where scores are still locked away here at Football Park.
Boundary umpire brings the ball in. Bartlett went up high, but it's taken by Borlase. He's played a pretty useful game tonight. Borlase has a bounce. Kick number 12 for Borlase. Oh, great mark by Stephen Williams, who's come into the game more in this third quarter since he moved on to the ball. Kicks towards centre half forward. Hodges there. In fact, it's Tyler. Loses it. Jennifer goes in. He'll work hard for the football, but the ball is being held to him. Good game of footy here at headquarters. And there's Christie wanting to come on. Melican, no doubt, will come off. Melican, the player, then gets the tap to Thompson. Wobbles a kick back towards centre wing. Rouvray, northeast. 2 youngsters. Rouvray. Simons. Back around the corner up to Lyndon Bowe. Lyndon Bowe with a chance now to put the Bays into attack towards centre half forward. Fidge is the player he's looking for. Chipping him with Rajonico. Dropped the mark he perhaps would have taken. This gives Rouvray a chance, but stolen by Fidge. Well, under towards Lamb. He's under the hammer, but did it cleverly, Clayton Lamb. Normally a long kick. I think this is home. A great goal, Clayton Lamb.
Well done, Clayton Lamb, but he should never have got clear of that ball. The tackle on him was a little soft. When Fidge gave it to him, he was gone for all money, and Tregenza should not have let him get out of that. He did, and it was a fine kick by Clayton Lamb. We've always known that he can kick the ball well, and that was no exception, and that's put the Bays in front. 8-4-52. They lead Port Adelaide 6-10-46.
The Tigers lead by 6 points, thanks to that magnificent long kick from Clayton Lamb. Hines wins the tap, searching for Brown. Borlase in there, ruck roving, as Ken mentioned. Now pushed out towards Wanganeen. A little bit quiet this turn, but he gets good depth with the kick. Back underneath it, the mark's been taken by Tyler. Well, he's got a kick like a mule for a little tacker. Great balance. Now umpire Michael Abbott just putting right around on the angle. And he opens up the face of goal. Full forwards like the opportunities to kick these. But isn't quite equal to it. The margin reduced now to 5 points.
Wanganeen, doesn't he do it so smoothly? He's like a Rolls-Royce motor. Just hums along. Seabone. Towards Gibbs. Gibbs back towards centre wing. Dahl put Adelaide there, and Abernethy takes the mark. So the Mackies will go back into attack. Centres the football to Rowan Smith, who's been very quiet. Very quiet. Puts it into the pocket. Looking out there for ball ace, is it? A fine mark by that play. He's had a pretty good game, ball ace, tonight. For the Maggies. 13. That's his third handball. Up towards full forward it goes. Tyler puts the pack under him and takes a fine mark. So that was, he stole that one, Tyler. Fair dinkum stole it.
He never ever got his feet off the ground. That was terribly bad judgment. In fact, John Seabone was claiming that Tyler indeed pushed them out.
I thought he did, ever so slightly, Daisy. Kick number 9. He's got it, it's home.
Well, let's have a look at it again. Oh, yes, John Seabone did get a push, and no question about that. Mark Tyler looked very anxiously at the umpire to see whether he's going to pay it or not, and I think he was extremely pleased and relieved when the umpire did, in fact, think that he did not push him out. However, that's the thing, how it goes, and what's that? Port Adelaide have hit the front 7-11 to 8-4.
One-point advantage to the Magpies. Friday night football coming to you live through Nine's Wide World of Sports. Back in the centre, it is Christie opposed to Hines. Beautiful bounce by Abbott. Christie won the tap out towards Bartlett. Couldn't control it. Brown over the top. He's knocked out of the way. And the big ruckman will get another opportunity to show their skills.
Jimbo, do you think Alan Bartlett's the answer at centre-half forward?
I think he's got a lot of ability, and he's against a very good player. And Phillips, whilst keeping him quiet tonight, he certainly hasn't shone. So, yeah, I've got a bit of time for Bartlett. He's a big lad, and he's still learning the game, and he's got the football now. Oh, he can't get past the bear, though. Now the handball is taken by Brett Dean. He feeds it back towards Madison. Play on the call. It was a high tackle. Well, the run's starting to go with the Pies. Now over the top. Boyd with an opportunity. Can't pick it up. Needs support. Gets the handball back. High tackle. Gee, that's Torben they let go. Now it's holding the ball. Oh, turn it up. Oh, well, you saw it yourself.
I cannot believe that. Look at this. Now, that's a high tackle. Got to get a free kick and gets pinned holding the ball. What's going on out there? Back with Simons at centre wing. The game's really come alive now. Both sides working hard. The free kick again. This time it'll go the way of Wanganeen. Port Adelaide supporters are up in arms. So are the Bay supporters. So it's on for young and old. Not a good kick. Chipping in his bow. On the half-back flank, grandstand side. Comes towards centre wing. Looking for Barra. Abernethy. Hot mark by Abernethy. Abernethy kicks towards half-forward. Brown's the player who's loose there. Chips one short in towards Tyler. Bounces awkwardly for that player. It's been harassed by Seabone, but he did it well in the end result. Tyler centred the football up towards full forward. Off hands it goes. Wanganeen crashes the pack. Down he goes. Ball out wide. A chance for Port Adelaide. Ball's working hard. Tackled by Gibbs. Down he goes. And finally umpire Mick Abbott will call for a bounce. Daisy, this game's really come alive, old son.
All it needed, Ken, was a couple of controversial decisions when both heads were ducked and neither got a free kick. And that Wanganeen, despite his size, gee, goes in for the lack his kilos. Brown hooks around the corner. He's hooked off line, 1 point only. I think the crowd's warming to the task, and certainly the two teams are lifting as well. That takes now Port Adelaide on to 7-12 to 8-4, a lead of 2 points.
Approaching the 19-minute mark. 54 points, plays 52. Port have clawed their way back to take the lead in this game after getting off to a more than shaky start when they kicked 6 points. The Tigers 4 goals. Seabone drops in a short pass, well executed to find Simons. He's lifted his work rate in this third term, and that's well dispatched to find McTavish. Lifts the eyes, blasts that towards centre-half forward. Bartlett underneath it. The ball goes through towards Abernathy. Tackle, we're not in possession. Play on the call. Elias won't deviate. He's trying to soccer the ball. Good work by Ginnivan. And there's been some great clashes here tonight. Ken, I feel you have something to say.
Well, the umpires have just forgotten the rule book. Like there was another free kick to Abernathy not played. It was clearing for Isat.
Chambers puts ball to ground. Christie tried to take it. It was punched away, though, from Bromelo. Eventually, the ball is put up high by Batterson, and the mark's been taken by Mr. Cool, Ross Gibbs.
Ross Gibbs comes towards the grandstand side. Elias did it well. Mackay is on young Mackay for Port Adelaide, but that's Brown. Ball out of play, and Mackay was the player there, number 45. Throw in. Hodges. Lamb peeled to the free kick and got it. Well, Rice 11, I thought Clayton Lamb grabbed the Port Adelaide player. Lamb with the free kick at centre wing on the defensive side towards centre half forward. Lost to the spoil up. Simons, the crumbs. Or has Mansell loose, beautifully put by Simons, and Mansell takes the mark. Mansell, kick number 2. He's been a quiet player tonight. Chance now to boot the Bay's 9th goal. Port lead by 2 points. Almost 21 minutes gone in this third quarter. Long kick, but offline, only a point.
Not a bad kick into the breeze. Game's coming to life. We're in for a great last quarter. Only 1 point the difference. Rowan Smith on the lead. Well done by Stringer. Smith in the back pocket as we approach. In fact, we're into time on of the third quarter. Stringer butters up for the 1-2. Awkward looking runner of the ball, but gee, dispatches it well. Elias, who took a heavy knock. He's certainly not frightened to go and get the ball either. Mansell under pressure. That's holding the ball. That's the way the umpire rules. And certainly the crowd likes that one. Rosonico, the attack side of centre wing. The umpire's giving it 50-metre. Well, I didn't pick that one up. He didn't seem to be inconvenienced in any way. He had the football. He dispatched it just as he wanted to. And yet the umpire has pinged him 50 metres. Well, whatever, he's well within kicking distance now. I certainly didn't pick it up. I might ask the boys in the moment. But a shot for goal will kick Port Adelaide away again. Rosonico started in the back pocket, finds himself 30 metres out with the woodwork in front of him. Towards the leg end, and that's home for all money. Port Adelaide kick clear, 8-12 to 8-5 on Nine's wide world of sports.
Yes, well, unfortunately, Daisy, I can't offer any assistance as far as that decision is concerned. I was actually watching Russell Boyd lead to the forward pocket. There was obviously some form of infringement, and that is why the 50-metre penalty was given. The umpire certainly would have had plenty of time to see what happened because the whistle had already been blown and the free kick had been given to Rosonico. And there's one man that won't dispute the decision, and that's Port captain Russell Johnston.
Back at centre, now goes the bounce. Hines. Kick off the ground by McTavish. A chance for Marshall. With him is Tregenza. It's heavy body work. Umpire Chambers will call for a bounce. 23 minutes gone almost in this third quarter, and it's the Magpies by 7 points. And there's Jack Cale. Never smiles. Well, Jack during a game of footy, always concerned. Elias appeared to get a high one, not paid. Taken by Williams. Over to Russell Boyd. Can he convert? All right, beautifully smothered by Mr. Cool. Ross Gibbs minus a boot, and he forces the ball out of play. This game really come alive now. Ross Gibbs, very cool. What he does in the game of footy. Hodges, Christie. Towards Lamb, working hard. Finally gets it out. Chance now for Boyd. Russell Boyd around his body, looking for Brown. But a mark has been taken as Ginnivan chips in. Ginnivan now no more than about 40 metres from goal, almost directly in front. For his 9th kick, he's had 7 handballs as well. He's a customary skip. Gets the kick away. Will it get the distance? Is there a free kick? No, it's home. A goal.
No question, the Port Adelaide smaller men have won on the day. Boyd has added a lot of bite. Ginnivan looked for someone. He thought he might have played on then, but here's a man with a longer run-up, and he's got a kick. But on this occasion, he popped it through. Gee, there's a bit of pushing, shoving in the goal square there, but it's home for all money. He boots his second, and Port Adelaide now a very handy 13 points clear.
Mark Tyler very quick to pick up John Seabohm there, just to indicate that nothing really happened. It was all accidental. The siren sounds to end the third term, and a great comeback by the Magpies.
Yes, you're right, Kim. It certainly has been a great comeback by the Magpies since quarter time, when Glenelg in that first quarter were clearly the better side, but the last two quarters have belonged to the Magpies.
At three-quarter time in the Foundation Cup, Port Adelaide 9-12, lead the Bays 8-5. We'll be back in just a moment.
Welcome back to headquarters. We're at three-quarter time. It's the Magpies in front by 13 points. Look at quarter time. That was unbelievable. The Bays 4 goals, 24. Led Port Adelaide 6 points. But since that moment, or since that quarter, the Port Adelaide side have taken control. They really have looked the better side. The main goal kickers for the Port Adelaide, Tyler's kicked 4, Ginnivan 2, and the Tigers Fidge 3, and a host of players have kicked 1 goal apiece. Graham Campbell, since quarter time, what's brought about the change to Port Adelaide?
Well, I thought, Ken, first they started kicking goals. I mean, quarter time. That's the name of the game, isn't it? Well, I thought Jack made a very cunning move in the third quarter, putting Bruce Abernathy into the middle. That released Stephen Williams in a ruck roving role. And more importantly, Darryl Borlace, who normally languishes, if you like, in the forward pocket, had a chance as a ruck rover. I thought he lifted the entire side. Not to mention Gavin Wagner. What's his name?
Wanganeen. That's the bloke.
I was going to say Wanganeen, but yeah, Wanganeen. Gee, he's a class act, Ken. I can't believe the boy's only 16, the way he throws the ball to foot. And as Kimmy Dillon said at one stage, he's got to kick like a mule. like the boy kicks 100 yards.
Yes, he moves like a Rolls-Royce motor, Graham, that's for sure.
Smooth.
Just looking at the bays, Graham, I felt tonight they really haven't had any rovers around the pack since quarter time.
Well, Ken, it's painfully obvious Chris McDermott stopped playing. Like, you know, Chris, I don't say he's a true rover, but he plays that role out there. He ruck roves and he roves. He does all that mopping up around the packs. He gets the hard ball, feeds it out to people flowing past. They're missing that sort of drive, and logically, any side would miss a Chris McDermott, wouldn't they?
Yes, they would, and I thought Phillips, although he hasn't had many possessions at centre-half back, has really cut Alan Bartlett out of the game at centre-half forward.
Well, he's typical Greg Phillips.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get a lot of kicks, at least he does the mopping up. He gets in the road. He's got an enormous size. You know, people have got to get around him when he gets in the road. And he is a daunting task. It is a daunting task trying to get Greg Phillips out of the road, isn't it?
Graham, I would have thought before the game the Bays with two genuine big guys in Christie and Melican would have controlled that area, but to Port Adelaide's defence and credit, they've played well there.
Well, Ken, if you recall, I said changing big fellas off the bench doesn't always work. They lose the heat of the game,
yep.
And I just believe that Chris Melican hasn't been used enough tonight, and Christie's had his moments, but the two of them in tandem, coming off the bench, really haven't had a chance to get into the game as much as they'd like.
Well, Graham Campbell, it's Port Adelaide by 13 points. You tipped them before the game. You're sticking with the Maggies?
Oh, definitely. I'm right this time, Ken.
Thank you, Graham. Let's go back to Ian Day.
A 31-point turnaround since quarter time. The Bays led by 18 men. Now they're down by 13 in the moment of truth. They've got the better... well, they led by 18 points, not 18 men. But they're kicking with the breeze or to the scoring end, which is the lake end of Footy Park. 9-12 plays 8-5. We've got Melican immediately into ruck. And it's going to be Hines against that play. The Bays need to lift, otherwise they'll get run over. The final quarter, in this the second game of the second round of the Foundation Cup. Hines got the tap. Quickly in there now was, it appeared to be Gibbs having a run on the ball. And that's an interesting move. He's in the centre square for some reason. Obviously he's going to have a run. I don't think he'd be playing centre, he may be. At the bounce again. Melican holds his body. Can't get it out. Tregenza can. Port Adelaide into attack. Quickly Hines gets it over Rowan Smith. Lyndon Bowe right on his hammer. Lost the footy. Smith gets it up again. Bowe at the bottom of the pack. The umpire can't separate them, and he'll bounce on the half-forward line for Port Adelaide.
Umpires officiating tonight, Michael Abbott, who just bounces the ball, along with Kevin Chambers. Melican won the tap quite convincingly. Puts it out in the path of Bowe. He's got three Port Adelaide players to contend with. Robbie Thompson assist, but eventually that ball going over the line on the outer side. Foundation Cup coming to you through Nine's Wide World of Sports, live here from Football Park. And what a magnificent night it is. What a tremendous fight back by Port Adelaide as Rowan Smith soccers the ball off the ground. Tregenza, short pass out looking for Tyler, front position. Good spoil by Seabohm. He's found it more difficult against the experience of Seabohm. Lyndon Bowe drives it in long. Players set themselves in there working hard. It appears to be Bromelo. No, in fact, that's northeast. Rouvray was the player I was looking for. Tregenza puts it out wide. Good mark, Russell Boyd.
It was a good mark by Russell Boyd. He's given away a number of free kicks since coming on the ground tonight, but as you see here, beautifully put towards Boyd, and Boyd over the top of Thompson, a fine mark.
Let's see if Russell can convert. He started off straight towards the goal, and he has snuck that one through.
Well, unbelievable performance by Port Adelaide. I've really taken control of the last three quarters. Now they lead by 19 points. And we're just 2 minutes into that final quarter. Russell Boyd there. Fine mark over Robbie Thompson, who beat Port Adelaide's 10th goal.
Borlase gets the kick away of sorts. Dumped further forward there by young Darren McKay. Going through strongly, all getting collared. That was a great tackle by Rosonico. And down went the player, and the ball was balled up. It wasn't Rosonico. Who was it? Was the tackler? McKay. Darren McKay. The bounce on the half-forward line. Port Adelaide with an imposing 19-point lead now. Melican gets the tap away. McKay in again. With him in there was Buick on the ground, and the umpire once more in for the bounce.
Daisy, one really shouldn't attempt to tip winners in these Foundation Cup games. It's near impossible. You lose all credibility. Who would have thought North Adelaide would go down against the Eagles?
What credibility, Kim, did you say?
What credibility we had. I'm speaking on behalf of all of us as Boyd goes forward once more. Thanks, Ken. Across the face of goal. Seabohm leads in the chase. If it goes out, I'll have a go at you. But he keeps it in play with a good kick. In fact, that's a kick to touch. Now, it is difficult, though. So many players, new players, are being blooded. And there's Graham Corns. He'd be extremely concerned, especially after getting off to such a good start. He's certainly not chasing a pizza on that phone there. The Bays are in a lot of trouble. I doubt whether they can fight back now as McTavish takes possession, couldn't get the kick away. Bender is so quick, it is dead set suicide trying to get away from that player. McKay won't deviate, crash, through he went, he took on Melican, got the ball over towards Brown. Now a chance for Tyler, has Rowan Smith. Now he's a freak around goals, he's on the left boot. That one just offline. Port Adelaide move on to 10 goals 13, Glenelg 8-5, and I think you selected the Bays as well, Ken.
I did, Kimbo. My credibility straight down the gurgle at 100 miles an hour. I think you're right. I'm going to give away tipping in the Foundation Cup. I wait until I can assess the form a lot closer than I have over the past couple of weeks. The kick-off by Seabohm goes to McTavish. They'll come back to Bays, make no mistake about that. A lot of pride in the black and gold Guernsey. Kick number 9 from McTavish to centre wing. Elias went up one hand. Gibbs goes in. Gets the handball out. Oh, that's a high tackle. Surely not paid towards Hewitt. Brown has an area off the ground. It's pretty scrambly stuff at the moment. Surely umpire Chalmers will call for a bounce. He does so. It's in the wing grandstand side. Almost 5 minutes into the final term. And it's Port Adelaide by 20 points. Melican is there. So is Hines. There's Melican. Hines with a goatee beard. Melican taken by Hewitt around his body towards half forward it goes. Barter, gee whiz, he's been a very quiet player tonight. Comes taken by Salisbury, he spent some time on the bench. Up towards full forward it goes, off hands. Foster, northeast won't give away too much as he gets his body over the football, but a fine mark has been taken by Rosonico in defence.
50 metres, ball is played by the Bays there to thump the ball out of his hands. That will bring Rosonico to the defensive corner of the big centre square, and Port Adelaide doing it well at the moment. The Bays not at all smooth in attack, and
Josie, that's the second 50-metre given away by Mansell.
Kick along the outer side. Here's the man that's played so well, Borlase. Rowan Smith, he's clear. Port Adelaide through the half-forward line. Oh, gee, lost the handle on the football for the while. Put out the long pass. Paul Williams on the ground. Here's a chance they go through the half-forward line. Marnie can't get, not Marnie, Foster can't get it out. Not a good passage of play by Port Adelaide. Smith gives it back to Stephen Williams. Tumbles one in. Almost Wanganeen. Point blank range.
Well, it gets rather monotonous, but this lad Wanganeen, apart from being extremely skillful, he has the ability to be in the right place, and that was certainly the case with him kicking his second goal. He was on the end of the chain. Let's see how it happened. Oh, have a look at that. Not the end of the chain. In fact, that was just clever ball control, and he's posted his second goal, and we've had 7 minutes into this final term.
Back in the centre. Port Adelaide have booted right away here. Lead by 26 points. Melican up high. Wanganeen, who kicked the last goal. His handball is smothered. In goes Hewitt. Throws the ball out. Lamb has an area. In goes Marshall. He's rock and rolled by Paul Williams, and the ball under a pack of players. And the umpire will call for a bounce.
And I think the difference in these last 3 quarters, Port Adelaide have ran the ball better, and they've had players with the ability to find space, and Glenelg have sadly lacked that tonight. And the players they need to do that are players like Maynard, McDermott and Hodgman, who are all out injured at the moment.
Comment Kim Dillon, northeast. The ball forced out of play by young Ruverade. The Bays into attack with the half forward.
Apart from that, it's only really Donovan who's out with that knee injury for the year that the Bays are missing at the moment, and Garton, of course, has retired. So, on the other hand, Port Adelaide have a lot of players to come in and strengthen this side.
Lamb up towards full forward, off hands. Fidge off the ground as you kick the goal. Oh, what a great goal, Fidge. Kicked it off the ground.
Brilliantly done, John Fidge, one that the Bays needed. But, gee, that's the luck of the Irish. He's booted number 4. But once again, there's not a lot of method going through the Bay half-forward line. But when your centre line's getting beaten, it doesn't give you half-forwards much chance. And as we mentioned before, the playmakers, the ball-carrying players have been not evident tonight. And the Bays have had to do it the hard way all the time. Look at this. Just crunched off the ground, goal. And the Bays, well, they're 20 points down, but not really in the fight.
Melican opposed to Hine. Melican won the tap, but the first man there is Wanganeen. Oh, he was met solidly there by Bartlett, and rather illegally, but it didn't bother Wanganeen. He did not flinch a muscle. The handball now out towards Northeast. Northeast with a long penetrating kick, setting himself. Boyd takes the mark. Read it superbly. So could this be the quick reply by Port Adelaide? He has kicked 1 goal already. He's had 6 kicks and taken 4 marks. And once again, Russell Boyd, assistant as far as coming off the bench and performing is concerned. Puts it up high, starts it to the right, and he hits the post. Well, that's how they started the match. Well, that's the 3rd time for the game. And have a look at that. It's not a pretty sight when after you've had a shot for goal.
Well, they've certainly found the woodwork tonight, Port Adelaide, as Seabone prepares to bring the ball back into play. 9 minutes gone, final term. Magpies lead. Straight down the middle of the ground it goes through the hands of Melican, and a chance for Marshall. Been sat upon by 2 Port Adelaide players in Hines and also Begenza. Players working hard in there as Elias, but umpire Chambers is forced to call for a bounce. In the centre of the ground. Port lead by 21 points. The 9.5-minute mark of the final term. Well, a free kick, no. Call of play on by the umpire. Good handball by Marshall, finds Bartlett. Bartlett in turn goes towards Simons. A chance now for the Bays. Pidge, can he mark? No, he can't. Great attempt. Pidge going in hard again there. Callahan was the player also with him, but umpire Mick Abbott will call for a bounce.
In the full forward left pocket, the Bays in attack. Down by 21 points and roughly 15 minutes left of this Foundation Cup game. Bartlett takes the ball to the line out of play. Pidge hasn't had the ball given to him too well tonight, although he's kicked 4 goals. It's been a struggle. Stringer in the end has probably had the better, but that's probably through lack of opportunity more than anything. Bartlett hooks in towards the pocket, and going for the safety of the line is Northeast. He shoved it southwest, and the ball is out once more.
Beautiful wordplay, Daisy. Throw in left forward pocket, northern end, down towards Mansell. Over the top of that was Lamb. He's fallen out of the game since the first half. Now Mansell puts it up high once more. The Bays need a grab. Well, big leap from Bartlett, couldn't control it. Hewitt tried to crash his way through. Desperation shown by Rowan Smith. We'll have a bounce once more by Michael Abbott. At the 11-minute mark, 80 points plays 59. Tap back towards Foster. In fact, that could have been McKay. It was. Now a chance for Elias. He's cleverly tapped it back to Melican. Slick handball back to Salisbury. Scooter Salisbury puts a low one in. Oh, there's a mark taken there. That's a strong grab by Rouvray.
Only a youngster, this young boy, has come through the junior grades and has a pair of very strong hands. 17 years of age, and that's a good grab by young Rouvray, who's obviously got a lot of league football in front of him.
We saw quite a deal of him in the reserves last season. And he's a 2-cup All-Australian, and that's why.
And there you saw the strong hands of Rouvray. And a very accurate kick for goal. Brings the Bays back in touch now. Only trailed by 15 points. Another goal to the Bays from here will bring this game well and truly alive.
Callahan off, Christie on for the Bays. Coach Corns opting now for a bit of height. Lamb drives the Bays into attack up towards the half-forward line. A big beat by Rouvray. Gribbs at the bottom of the pack, can't get it out. Rosonico, well done, but can't get the kick away. Fidge looking for it as the football, can't get it out, and the umpire will ball it up on the half-forward line. Well, the Bays making their bid. They look to be well out of it, but they're fighting back. Only 15 points down with plenty of time. Only time will tell. Phillips over the top. Comes through the pack, does it well, but smothered off the boot. Abernethy has a try, gets it out wide. Rowan Smith needs to set Bow there. Needs support, gets it back now from Thompson. Hooks around the corner, Mansell clear. Can't quite find him. Quickly now Hewitt on the left leg, hooks back in towards full forward. Fidge there, swamped by Port Adelaide defenders. They can't find the football. Abernethy gets bowled and the ball goes out of play in the full forward right pocket.
Let's not forget, after the football, coast to coast. Certainly will update you with all the news around the world. There's certainly some news here at the moment. That is that Glenelg are giving it their last shot. Overlook at Fidge with that bump. That was a beauty. But McKay has the ball as he puts it out wide. And eventually, oh no, it's gone out of bounds. And Stringer can thank himself. In fact, that's Williams, Paul Williams onto the ground. That could have been costly. Corns has made a few moves. He's got Gibbs in the forward pocket. McTavish has gone to the back pocket. And didn't he play some class football from there last season? Bartlett kicks it forward. Hewitt will need support. The tackle's applied by Phillips. Play on the cool. In there is Foster, picked up by Borlase. Once more, the ball heads towards the boundary line. And as far as Port's concerned, it's not a bad place to be.
Bay's not out of this game by any stretch of the imagination. 14 minutes into the final term, and it's Port Adelaide in front by 15 points. Bartlett and Hines. Taken by Geneva. The kick is touched off the boot. Mangaling sent to the diving mark. Taken by Borlase. He's had a pretty good game tonight for the Magpies. Pick number 16, Russell Boyd is there, but the two Glenelg players. Good hip and shoulder bump by Melican. The ball's still in play. Back towards centre wing. It's all Glenelg here. And Scotty Salisbury's been a pretty quiet play tonight. Get a 15-metre? No. The Bay supporters want it. They rise in the stand and hurl abuse at the umpire. Kick number 4 for Scotty Salisbury. Off hands, a chance now from McKay again. He threw it out wide. Rowan Smith, tackled by Salisbury. Down he goes. In goes Bow. McKay again, but a free kick against Port Adelaide for a throw. And the free kick will be taken by Scotty Salisbury, Daisy.
I think Scotty spent a fair bit of time in the bunker, Ken. I don't know why. Hasn't had a big part in the game tonight. Hewitt dashes off. The Bay's into attack. Out goes Fidge. Georgie gave a huge shove in the back. It wasn't even sudden. The umpire has given the free kick to Stringer. He's on the half-back line at the moment. Gets the lead on the outer side from Mackay, but he's coming grandstand side. It's well put to Borlase. Or gee, if he can get it out to northeast. He's 50 metres clear, and that's the way the ball will travel. And northeast takes it, checks on. Up beat. Took his eyes off it. The cardinal sin of any ball game, and the ball tumbles off his fingers and goes out of play.
Look at that. Certainly hold those. Geneva onto the boot. Wangani. Great grab. And have a look at this lad. 16. Has a look. 10 kicks and 8 handballs as he passes that one over towards Hines, who kicks it towards the centre half forward area. Williams, oh, super clever football. Not picked up though by Tyler. Mansell in there. And no use appealing for that one. You had your chance.
There's a couple of Port Adelaide players taking their eye off the footballs. You see the big crowd here at Footy Park enjoying this encounter between these two top sides. Seabone, Melican, Tregenza towards goal. Has he kicked it? Goal umpire. It's home.
He's killed them. No question about that at all. From one centre wing, you've had Abernethy, you've had Stephen Williams, and Port Adelaide, smaller men, have just simply been too good on the night. I don't think the Bays can get back into it from here. They're down 12-14 to 10-5. That's a lead of 21 points, and I think we've only got about 8 or 9 minutes to go.
The margin stretched once more by Port Adelaide to 21 points. So it'll be very tough from here for the Tigers if they're to get it back into this game. In fact, it will be near impossible. Grim onto the ground, the quick handball out towards Borlase, bullet-like pass, well cut off by Seabone. Opportunity for Tyler, Tregenza, in there is Gibbs. Neither of those players can take control. It will be Kevin Chambers to bounce once more. Ron Cahill would be fairly pleased about this performance, as they were struggling to convert early in the game. Jack could be happy. Last year they lost the opening round of the Foundation Cup and went on to take out the Premiership. And this season taking similar shape. Throw in by the interchange gate. Scotty Salisbury. A tough character he's been for the Glenelg Football Club. Grim, the youngster, outpointed by Christie, who cleverly tapped out towards Williams. Let's see how he uses this. Sits it up nicely for Tyler. Seabone front position. In front it was Elias. Taken by Tyler. Here's a chance. Wanganeen, Boyd in the square. Wanganeen up, down, he's away again. Check side, kick for goal. He's kicked it. What a freak this young man is.
Well, you won't see any better than that from anybody. You can throw in Abbott, you can throw in anybody you like. Just watch this. Put your eyes on this, folks. This is brilliant stuff. Look at that. Almost got a free kick. Look at the way that he balanced himself, the kid. 16 years of age. And this is special. This is, I'll tell you what, he will draw many, many people to the game of football this year, I can tell you. This kid is sensational stuff. I don't like perhaps giving the kids too big a rap for Daisy. Oh, excuse me.
Kenny didn't even seem to be excited like it was an everyday thing. You don't see many better goals than that in football, and what a great future the young lad has. Gibbs drives long. I would think that would break the heart of anyone. I think the players are shot to pieces now after that. Stringer high towards centre wing. Here goes Wanganeen again and takes another mark. He's the darling of the Port Adelaide crowd. He didn't check side that one too well under pressure. He's put it out of bounds on the full, and the umpire will give a free kick to Jason Bromley.
Yes, well, not showing great deal of emotion outwardly. Perhaps just playing on them when he shouldn't have. Still pumped up after that goal. Lyndon Bowe puts it across ground. Phillips tried to partake in the spoiling activities. Really put his hand to the ball. Now it's pushed out wide. Opportunity for Thompson. Spears out a pass, and the mark's been taken by Simons. Touched off the boot. He plays on quickly. Centres it nicely. Stringer the spoiler from behind. Abernethy in the back pocket. Takes that ball over the line. We've just past the 20-minute mark here at Football Park. 13-14 Port, Glenelg 10-5.
Yes, the Maggies in front by 27 points. Taken by Melican. Kick is smothered. Abernethy goes down. Foster with a hurry kick back towards the half-back flank. Taken by Marshall. Back towards full forward it goes. Mark, good mark to Paul Rouvray. Kicked 2 goals. We've seen 2 exciting youngsters tonight. The Rouvray taking the mark there, and young Rouvray and also Wanganeen. Abernethy is coming off. Up and going back on for the Maggies. But the action with Rouvray. He's kicked the goal.
You know, it's a marvellous thing about football. People keep on moaning.
Port Adelaide running out winners by 20 points.
No question, Port Adelaide was the better side on the night. They had a bit of a rough start when they couldn't find their right kicking foot. And to their credit, they came up with a lineup that was most un-Port Adelaide-like. They had an inexperienced full back line, but they experimented well. And in the end, they had too many playmakers, good players who ran the ball well, kicked to position, and they had better movement up in front of goals, and they deserved their win.
Port Adelaide, 14 goals, 14, 98. Victorious over Glenelg, 12 goals, 6, 78. We'll be back here at Football Park shortly to wrap up proceedings.
And welcome back to headquarters, and there's the final score in the second game tonight. Port Adelaide, as you see, they got away to a shocking start in the first quarter, picking 6 points, but then, of course, the end result, 12 goals, 6. Glenelg, Port Adelaide 14-14, 98, a margin of 20 points, and the Magpies, in the end result, far too good for the Tigers. And Kim, with their smaller running players of Port Adelaide, Tregenza, Wanganeen, that really turned the tide for Port Adelaide.
It certainly was. We mentioned throughout the course of the game that Port Adelaide had the ability to make the spaces, and they certainly had more players at the fall of the ball, and that took its toll on the Tigers as the game progressed. And certainly, I think Glenelg missed players like McDermott and Maynard, the guys that can really make spaces, and you have to have link players in a game of football nowadays.
But there again, Kim, against that, of course, Port Adelaide had a lot of players out tonight, a lot of key players out tonight.
Oh, it was a tremendous game for Port Adelaide when you consider that they had a lot of key players out. A great effort, and gee, they've got some impressive youngsters.
They certainly have some exciting youngsters as we go to David Mackay.
Thank you, KG. With me, Greg Phillips. Greg, great win this evening.
Oh, just exactly what the players wanted and the club needed, I think, yeah.
Did you think at quarter time you'd win it like you did?
No, I thought it was going to be hard, but I was sort of a little bit confident about it. We've had a big build-up this week, and we lost the last couple, so the boys were looking for a win, and, the feeling was there all day, all night, so it was good to come out and win.
It took me back a little bit to last year's Foundation Cup Grand Final. You just picked Glenelg by 3 points, and I thought when you were coming home that maybe Glenelg might come back at you and make it a close event, but you really didn't open the door at all for them.
No, we come in at half-time, and, we're full of confidence then, and we're all keyed up to go out there and win, and, the little blokes tonight all done a really good job, and, when young Wanganeen kicks goals like he does there, just lifts the whole side, even though it was late in the side, but there's a lot of good things. But I thought our tackling was really good tonight, and if you tackle well, I reckon you win the game 9 times out of 10.
Where do you keep finding kids like Tregenza and Wanganeen? Port Adelaide just seem to have a player tree. They just keep pulling them from nowhere.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Those two lads especially got a great future, and it's just great for the club. And they've come up through the junior ranks, and it's a credit to them. And to play like this so early in the year, they've definitely got a big future.
Well, let's come back to your fitness. A lot's been said about it. You were a little porky pre-season. Yeah. I'm not one to talk, of course, but you certainly seem to have trimmed down a little bit and looking a lot better.
Oh yeah, I've still got a few kilos to lose, but
when you say Phil, a few?
Oh, I'd say I got another half a stone to go, but I'll be right by the 9-round game, and it's Foundation Cup, but I'm out there to play, and Jack's playing me to get me fitness, so I'm copping a fair bit of flack, but come by the furnace 1-round game, I'll be happy playing, won't.
Well, let's come back to the Foundation Cup. Last week you copped a drubbing by North Adelaide. That must have been a real surprise.
Yeah, yes and no. We knew North Adelaide were going to put up a good fight, but we just didn't get our game together, and now we've turned out one this week and North are lost, so they're probably feeling how we felt last week.
Now you've lost Obst, you've lost Delaney. How do you perhaps propose to cover there?
Yeah, well, Gus Stringer was there tonight. I thought he'd done a fair job. Jeff Phelps is still over at Cummins on the west coast at the moment. I suppose I could look him at a full-back position as well. And, Obst, we've got Abernathy and Tregenza and Wanganeen to move on the flanks or on the ball. So, we're fitting in quite well at the moment. It's only 3 games to play this year, and the signs are there that we're going to be a threat again.
Early days, Greg, but are you predicting 3 premierships in a row?
Too right, I'm hoping so.
Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, David.
It's David Mackay talking to the big fella. He's a character, isn't he, Greg Phillips? Unbelievable.
Oh, yes, he's been an ornament to the game. He plays extremely fair, and gee, they get a bit greedy, don't they? 3.
Actually, I thought his game tonight was first class. He didn't get many possessions, but he took Alan Bartlett, his opponent, right out of the game.
Yes, he was very workmanlike, but that's his trademark.
Yes.
And whilst Bartlett worked hard, neither player really had a great effect on the game, and Phillips can do that. That's probably classed as a bad night for him.
Well, Kimbo, talking about the youngsters in the game tonight, young Paul North East is only a kid too, and I thought his game tonight was first class.
Oh, he's a very determined player, Ken, and we talk about Phillips' trademark being so tight. Well, this man's not far behind. As we see, have a look at this. I talked about determination. Now, that was a dead-set photo finish.
Yes. And I thought his game against Gary Ablett, even though Ablett kicked 5 in the game against Geelong, I thought he played pretty well that day too.
Well, he kicked 3 on North East, I think it was. I stand corrected, but he only had 3 kicks, so that's just Ablett for you. He's a percentage player.
How'd you see Clayton Lamb's first up performance with the base?
Oh, his first half was very good, and you could see he was pumped up and determined. Like, he should have never broke that tackle, but he did, and the rest is history. You can't give Clayton Lamb an opportunity like that. He kicks the ball extremely well.
Gee, and accurately too. Actually, I thought Mark Tyler, after a slow start at full forward, gave Port Adelaide someone to aim to there.
He certainly did. He kicked 3 goals in the second term, ended up with 4. A little bit lucky there. He nudged Seabohm out. That was the only goal he kicked on Seabohm, and Seabohm did an extremely good job after those first 3 goals were kicked, and of course they were all kicked on Chris Duthie.
Certainly a push there. Russell Boyd is an interesting player, Kimbo. comes off the bench. He's more of a pinch hitter, isn't he, Russell Boyd?
Well, there is, and there's no question that Russell Boyd's career should have been more illustrious than what it has been. He's been dogged by injuries, but he's extremely talented, and he's just so fearless. He's the ideal player to throw off the bench and really liven up a game.
Well, talking about talented youngsters, Wanganeen tonight was just unbelievable, wasn't he?
He's a delight to watch. You just sort of hope the ball goes near him all the time, because these lads only come along once in a blue moon. He did that quite easily, great ball control, and that goal, he didn't jag it, he executed from the forward pocket with the reverse punt. As I said, absolute delight to watch.
So beautifully balanced, isn't he?
Yes, and it'd be disheartening standing someone like that, because there's not too many people who can run that quick.
Actually, I thought Fitch started well for the Babes tonight too, up forward.
Yes, he's a good player, John Fidge, and he's going to be a real asset throughout the season. This was a clever goal, that. Have a look at that for presence of mind. And yeah, they're certainly going to cause a few headaches for a lot of full-backs this season.
Well, what about the Bays, Kim? They've got, of course, McDermott and Maynard to come back into the side. They're the two sort of running players. How did you see their performance tonight overall?
Well, they started off well. They're against a very good side, but a side that was also depleted. As we mentioned, the thing with Glenelg, they want Maynard to come back into the side at his best, because he's a good link man. McDermott, well, his name speaks for himself. He's just a class player. And then throw in Hodgie. Let's not forget, I may be wrong here, but I think he won the best in Ferris last year.
Yes, he did, yes.
And so he's far from over as far as his career is concerned. So Hodgie's another player, apart from winning the hardball, that can also find spaces and set up attacks.
I must confess, I thought Malik and Christie would have done more around the ground tonight than they did, and two genuine big guys. Well, I thought their work around the ground wasn't good enough tonight.
Well, it's always difficult coming off the bench, but just to level that one out, by the same token, Hines didn't do a lot either.
Didn't.
So maybe it was just one of those nights with Ruckman where the way the game was played, they didn't really get a chance to dominate or feature.
How did you see the centre line duels tonight?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty absorbing, actually. Now I've got to think of all the players that were playing there.
I thought Tregenza, in particular, across centre was fantastic.
Tregenza was good. Hutton actually came off the ground.
Yes.
Marshall was in and out of the game. As usual, he was value for touches. But
Simon's
first half was good.
It was good, but I thought Abernethy, when he went into the centre, also did some things when Stephen Winters went onto the ball.
Exactly, and there was some good duels there, but apart from Tregenza, no one really standing out.
No, actually, the Bays disappointed me tonight. I thought with their side that they would have taken Port tonight with no Russell Johnson, no Darren Smith, two very important players in their side.
It disappointed me, Kenneth, because I can't pick a winner. I went against the old Eagles in the early game, and North got up, but I thought the Tigers would win tonight.
Yeah.
And no, full credit though to Port Adelaide. They certainly played better football, and once again their commitment was at a greater level.
Well, talking about great commitment, of course, in the early game tonight, your beloved Eagles, Kimbo, they certainly led at every break, and gee, it's amazing, isn't it, when you look at their performance against Woodville last week compared to tonight. You can't compare the two performances.
Well, you can't, but like last week, for both sides, it was their first genuine hit-out.
Yep.
And it takes a while to iron out the little kinks, and I expected Torrens to perform a lot better. They've had some good results against North Adelaide in recent years, but I must admit, I thought North Adelaide would win the game, because I thought they were strengthened with players like Sims coming back into the side. And
actually, I thought young Paul Bullis, who played tonight his first game, I thought his game tonight was outstanding. Another youngster that obviously is going to make his mark in league footy.
Well, he played last season all year in the under-19s, tasted a little bit of success winning the premiership there.
Yeah.
Hasn't played a reserves game, straight into the league side, and it's a healthy position, as Ian Day mentioned earlier. There's a lot of class juniors around, or youngsters around in South Australian football, which augurs well for the season.
OK, well, of course, going from football to cricket, and we've got a very important Sheffield Shield game underway at the moment at the Adelaide Oval, and gee whiz, SA started disastrously. At one stage they were 3 for 15, but recovered slightly to make 262 with young Darren Lehman. Look at that, a fantastic performance. Kimbo 100, well supported by Peter Sleep. McDermott bowled well, 5 for 74, and of course in reply Queensland at stumps none for 42. So that game is at a very, very interesting stage.
Certainly is, and let's hope the bowlers Colin Miller and Joey Scuderi and that can really rip into them tomorrow.
Let's hope so, Kimbo. Thanks for your company. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the first two games tonight, of course, in the second round of the Foundation Cup, and now stand by for Coast to Coast. Bye, everyone.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.